Terry, can you hear Paul and Alan?
Yeah.
No, I'm just checking when you said use. You, whether it was use or just the single you.
Just my sound settings has been screwed up again and I can't figure out what's going on here.
Terry, can you hear Paul and Alan?
Yeah. Oh, I double it up there. So I've got
Make
sound
sure you
going
save your
out.
settings.
I've got sound going out there.
Yeah.
And these are coming through me. Through there. So the peanuts are hearing you guys from Discord.
Okay. Through you, though.
No, not through my mic, just through the settings, through the sound.
No, that's what I meant. But
Yeah.
via your connection to Discord.
Yeah. Changed.
Well, that worked.
I'm working in Zoom. Usually I change Discord to auxiliary, but if I do that, you can't hear me for some reason in Discord. I change it to auxiliary. Weird.
I think because you might have the mic to I think we turned off the microphone output that went to the B2 channel because otherwise you were getting it twice and getting echo.
Yeah, and then we did fix it where we had it working, but I don't think that's changed. OBS didn't stuff up again, did it? I'll just check OBS. No, OBS is aux output and aux. That didn't change. And Zoom is input and output. That's correct.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Okay, so Zoom hasn't changed. But everyone's in Discord at the moment, though, so... But yet, if I change Discord to... Okay, I'll leave it at default and aux input, because usually I have it aux input, aux output in for when you guys are in Zoom, so you just get heard out there. That won't matter for now. Pharmacists, I get that a lot. I hear voices.
Farmers does. Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay, here we go. So everyone says, yeah, I can hear Paul and Alan. Should be able to hear me as well.
Good to hear you. That's on the Kingdom channel. Farmers does. Yes, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay,
Very
here we go.
Davies.
So everyone says, yeah, I can hear Paul and yeah, I can hear me through
Very
YouTube.
Davies.
Yeah, so I know I'm working over
Yep,
there.
you're there.
Yeah.
You're there.
That means I should be getting... Just check sound out there. Right, that's coming through my mic. Why isn't that one not working? Unless you get fed through that in Zoom. Yeah, okay, I'll leave that for now. Well, I don't have any Lindsay, unfortunately.
How can we not have Lindsay? Did
Well,
we never watch the one we were going to watch 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, Lindsay just hasn't put out anything lately.
Yeah, but we're going to watch one about 4 weeks ago and we never did.
We were going to watch one about 4 weeks ago and we didn't
Yeah, because we had crashes.
because we had crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had Bev
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had crashes.
instead of Lindsay.
And then we had crashes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
one that we were going to watch, whatever the last one or whatever one we were going to watch, we never actually got to watch. You had it queued up and then it fell over.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was Do Not Watch This Without a Friend, Earth's Topography is a Mirror from Above. Because that was 2 weeks ago.
Possibly. Yeah. Well, there you go. We haven't watched that.
Because that's part 2. Because Earth 3D topography is a mirror, as above is so below. That was part A. Unless we were watching part A, I can't remember now.
Look, Terry, I'll check with the Peanuts. I'll give them about 10 seconds. If they don't respond, we'll assume they want to watch Lindsay. Now,
Liz M says, oh, no, Lindsay, hit
10.
the like button already.
Oh, 10 seconds are up. At my end.
Mm. Well, they either can look at
I got
my
it.
star
You know, the
pattern,
scary thing is,
or they
I
can look
prefer
at the
Lindsay to.
window capture of Discord. So they can either have either
Scary
either.
thing is, scary thing is, I prefer to listen to Lindsay than listen to Bev.
Yeah, I know. I had a partial Bev thing lined up again to pick on him. Hear him repeat again.
Yeah, that was Paul put that up. Saw that one.
It's just that he explains the same thing. He says the same thing over and over. It's just a repeat. There's no
Well,
difference. The one
it
I've got.
annoys me because he says it's provable, but he hasn't gone and done it. Where's this video he keeps talking about? Where's the evidence? Where's the? I'm just okay. If what you say is true,
Yeah, well, I got a
show
bit
us.
out of his video here. It's called that he called it. When did he drop this? About 14 hours ago. And he's got blue marble fallacies, vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, but
And
no, but actually going out and measuring. Has he got one of
oh
those?
no
Where he's
no no
actually
no
out
no!
to
He's
what?
only just got these
So
whiteboard
the last,
views.
yeah, last time I've seen him do that was the Blackpool one, and obviously that
Well,
didn't
that
go
didn't
well for him.
work out for him very well, did it?
Yeah, that's why he
No.
doesn't do any of that anymore.
Yeah, he's really tired of hearing about Blackpool.
Oh, we'll keep mentioning it then.
Exactly.
Hi, Carl. How are you? How's everyone? Hi, Judy.
So you guys
That-
too
that-
scared to come into Zoom in case we crash, or are you hanging out in Discord?
Oh,
Because I've got this.
hanging out.
Because I've
We'd
got
get into
Discord.
Zoom
I've got
if you gave us a link, Terry.
the link's been out for ages.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. I thought I had a look there earlier. I didn't see it.
Oh.
You're going to have to show me where because I can't fucking find it.
Because I can't see it. Still
why
can't
did-
see it myself.
Did I put
It's
it in
not
the
in
wrong?
the special place.
I didn't put it in the wrong channel or anything, did I?
No, you just didn't put it. You haven't put it up, mate.
Oh, the.
I don't know what you've done with it.
It's not pasting for some reason.
Yeah,
Copy.
yeah, you Control V. Control V.
Yeah, bugger.
Hmm.
That's why it didn't paste.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Discord
kicks
trick.
back.
Yeah, Discord mucked up again. I wasn't even looking that I'd posted it because all I could see was the old link, and I thought, oh yeah, that's the new one. It didn't actually go through. Took it for granted it was bloody working, the link. So I can't buy DDR3 RAM
Memory.
sticks at the moment for some reason. So I don't know if either the shops just don't stock them or it's because they're older. They don't keep them in stock anymore.
DDR3.
Hmm.
Don't know. I haven't had to buy one for a while.
Yeah, like got the Mrs. Darks the bloke out at Woonona if he had any in stock, and he said no, they haven't got any in stock. So I got no idea what's going on.
Nothing works. Nothing works today.
Okay.
I'll have to get my laptop out.
I'll swap the back over then. So we're not 100% sure which Lindsay we were meant to be watching.
Just pick whichever one of the latest ones are. I'm pretty sure. You said there was one only 2 weeks ago. Well, we haven't much run for more than 4 weeks. So
Well, there's one for 12 days ago. It looks like he's advertising a t-shirt of some sort that he's got on. And then there's part A instead of part 1. Earth's 3D topography is a mirror as above, so below. And then there was one before that, 3 weeks ago. Antarctica is not an ice wall. Try to watch the Antarctica is not an ice wall. That was 3 weeks ago. If anyone can remember. I can't remember. That's three weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah, AP, you think that'd be easy, wouldn't it? Alan, somebody. Alex. Alan, Alex. Over there. Alan Partridge. That's an actor. That's an actor. Oh. That's him. That's him. Exists, yeah. That's where I got the name from. I was trying to think of who he's, some media personality. Why can't you hear Alan very well? Yeah, not too bad. I can hear him okay. Oh, okay. Can you hear Blue? Okay. You hear Timbo?
Particle, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Or maybe if I put the audio on out there, you might come through over here.
a special particle bypasses spell checkers.
Yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it, Zeb and Armageddon. I didn't have the audio out for the other guys. On the road again. Looks like a nice day there, Alan. Hardly any
Are
cloud.
you
It's not
are you
too bad. It's a bit breezy though.
are you trying to get run over, Alan?
He's only in the driveway,
Am I
Blue.
trying
That's the
I'm only in the
driveway.
driveway, mate.
Yeah, no, but he's aimed toward the street. He's in a wheelchair and he's wearing camouflage. Now wait
Yeah,
a minute.
exactly.
I can't see him. Where is he?
Yeah, I know. You need a yellow flag.
Ow! A lot of noise, Alan.
Hang on. Let me just.
It might be the wind.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Put
sure
a hood up.
it's the wind.
Keep the wind off
Get the wind up here.
because the wind was blowing over my ears a bit.
Yeah.
That better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
It would be if the
It
damn
is.
hood would stay up.
Chat's saying all they hear is you, Terry.
Well, they shouldn't be able to hear that. No, Zebulon said I hear the others now. Yeah, I didn't have the feed going out for you guys in OBS. It's all good now.
Well, that would
The
explain
Jews
it.
aren't guys. The Jews aren't guys.
Oh, okay.
They're female sheep. Jews.
Okay.
That's what I'd get at school if I ever said use. Female sheep.
They cleaned this footpath yet over here?
Yeah, but I should wait until this guy comes walking down here with his dog rather than trying to squeeze up there.
It looks a bit muddy. I wouldn't go in the mud.
It's as dry as it gets this time of the year.
Grand Theft Auto Allen style.
Grand Theft Auto.
Especially as it rained last night a lot. Morning.
while you're transversing across the countryside, I'll pull up over Lindsay. Where's Alan going? To the liquor store.
He just run out. He's getting his Lindsay supplies.
Okay. Which one's Lindsay?
Butler milk, mate. That's what I'm going for.
Well, try the Flat Earth Antarctica is not an ice wall to see if you've watched that one. On a whiteboard, and it's in the corner of the room. Anyone got any memories of that one? Now, do I dare share the screen, or we're going to wipe the screen?
There's too many letters.
Now. Whoa, that truck was close.
That wasn't close. That was on the road and I'm on the pavement.
Yeah, I'll make you bigger. That way the peanuts can see this bird's eye view.
He was at least 2.5 meters away from me.
Watch out for the puddle.
I'm just hoping I can actually get over the bridge because of the roadworks.
Yeah.
Because you see that red sign up ahead? That says road closed ahead.
Will you make the corner?
Oh.
Don't hydroplane. I'd say you're driving on the wrong side of the path, but I can see all the bushes on the other side, keeping you to the right.
The chair really likes to drag itself and point itself downhill. So I tend to stay to whichever is the highest side. It's a cross thingy. It looks like the whole bloody bridge is shut.
You're breaking the rules there. It's going off road.
Yeah, this is off road. This bit through here.
This pedestrian path that used to be really good, but it does seem to be needing a little more resurfacing.
Yeah.
But if I can't get over the bridge here, then I've got to go up there where that red car is and go up the main road to go across the new bridge. And I've got to do that in the carriageway. In a chair that does 8 kilometres an hour in 100 kilometre an hour speed limit.
Evan's network bandwidth is low. No, back again.
What a surprise.
We're nearly there. Nearly there. Bit bumpy there.
Oh, yeah, the whole bridge is definitely closed off. Oh no, there is a little gap. I might just do it.
Might squeeze through.
Yeah, they seem to have left the path that I can do in the chair.
If you go fast enough, can you jump the gap like in speed?
Well, that's why we want to
Fast.
put a rocket on his chair so he can launch himself over it.
Yeah. Which way should I go though, Terry? To launch myself, this way or the other way?
Yeah, I don't know which may make a difference.
Do you have some floaties you could go in the water?
Can you
and
see the hole in the?
just
Can you
swim
see the
across?
hole in the road? Or that was back there.
Yeah. There's the hole in the
Ooh,
bloody road.
Ah.
It's a bit big, as you can see.
Okay.
It goes way,
Why
way
didn't I fix
under.
that?
Fill it
Oh,
up.
Just before Christmas.
Fill it up.
No, I suspect. It looks like they're worried about the sub pavement's been damaged. They're gonna have to rip the whole thing up. That's what I'd take.
Yeah,
That
it
myself.
goes down quite a long way.
Yeah.
It probably goes down all the way to the stones on the underside of the arch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least they left the pedestrian access, which is what I thought they would do.
I can't see your legs there, Alan.
No, you can see his feet.
No, I can't.
I can see your foot.
It's camouflaged.
Oh,
Camouflaged.
you're
Can't see
camouflaged.
Well, you got to cross the bridge at least.
Yeah.
Just because my waterproof stroke wool stroke windproof clothing happens to have green patterns on it.
Because you nearly got the town to yourself. There's hardly anyone around.
It's like the 4th of January, isn't it? There ain't too many tourists about this time of the year, mate. Just the locals. Although there's a lot of cars in the car park.
Yeah, I know. I can see that.
I mean, the car park, there's a decent number of cars in the car park.
Yeah, well, there must be
I suppose
somebody.
they better get out of the way, that's it.
There's probably a few people in Latham's.
Yeah.
I bet you they've changed the stock around in here last time I've been in here.
Oh, sorry.
Missed them. You don't get any points.
What pedestrian?
Unless
Hitting
you
a
hit the
pedestrian.
pedestrian, you don't get any points.
I thought it was 10 points.
I've never actually played Grand Theft Auto. I know the concept of the game, but I've never actually played it. Go on the exit. Go on. See what happens.
Are we doing any other shopping besides milk?
We can have a look around the store if you like.
You might get Christmas bargains that are reduced.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have thought there'd be much left by now. Because, oh look, reduced to clear, prices is marked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting the hood down as well now, can't I? Because we haven't got the big loud wind noise blowing in my ears.
No.
Ah. It's a good time to buy wrapping paper and Christmas decorations.
Don't. My daughter usually does. She'll spend. She's been known to go to the craft places and clear them out of the Christmas stuff for like nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do drop. They drop down to.
Just morning. loaf of bread. Any Christmas specials down there. Turning it back into the garden section. I think people are looking at me because I'm talking to myself.
just tell him you can hear voices in your head. Just talking to them.
Oh look, a 6 foot Christmas tree, $12.99. I knew what they were before Christmas.
Should we be playing Pink?
$23.99.
Should we be playing Pink Floyd's Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast in the background here?
I've got one that fits. I found a scientist that fits. Oh, someone's already got it. Bummer. Oh, no, I haven't got the whole thing. Okay.
I wonder if Alan knows he dropped.
Hey, Paul, is it the who I put in the chat? No, the Zoom chat. Oh, sorry, someone's got the other one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sorry, Blue just put up this sooner.
I would have never have guessed that name.
Oh, come on, he's pretty well known and famous for discovering the cosmic microwave background.
Okay.
Yeah,
He won a Nobel Prize. Come on.
he did, along with the other guy, right?
Yeah. How do you think I found him?
Wilson. Wilson was the other guy.
Well, I've got three actually. Hotre Kipitska.
Name the other guy.
I know, and Robert Woodrow Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
1978. Yeah. So three of them is what I've got on the list. So I'm just trying to see. It doesn't say. Did Arno work with Wilson, or did they just all three won different Nobel Prizes that year? Oh no, he worked with Wilson. Oh no, he worked with Wilson. I see.
Do we have to mute
Sounds like
Alan
there's
while
a
he's
traffic
rummaging around?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a traffic accident happening in the background.
Yeah.
he's knocking over the tins cans with his wheelchair.
And I might have gone in a big metal box. Or at least a metal enough box that's a decent Faraday cage. Hey, since you last had a look around in here, Terry, a whole new load of deep freezes with lots of frozen stuff in them.
Ah.
But aren't you going to show the punters something?
Yeah. Let's put on.
Yeah. I guess I might be getting one of those meals at the bottom of the freezer then.
Your audio's terrible and we don't see anything, Alan.
Okay.
Nah, well, we don't because he showed he put his camera on his camera front, so everything's just.
I'll stop the video and I'll.
There is nothing wrong with his audio.
Oh, we'll play
I
Lindsay.
think Alan was hoping you'd have.
I don't know.
I think
could
it's hoping you have-
perfectly understand him.
What?
I could perfectly understand him.
Yeah, there wasn't any of this sound or anything like that, was there, Paul? Now, do I share it or do I just play it, Lindsay?
I share it in the. Let's see how we go. What's
Yeah,
the worst
but
that
you
can
know it'll happen.
I don't know. How long have we been in? Just
47 minutes.
well, you what? Need to play it. Post the link in the thing, and I'll play it and share it.
What do you reckon, Peanuts? Who was somebody farting in their mic? Who did that? It wasn't me.
No.
No,
Oh, that's when I pull my mic
Didn't
in
sound
and
like
out
that.
and it makes a sound. We've got a naked
There's
Frank
naked
out
Frank,
here in
by
the
the way, yeah.
Peanuts. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I ran into Frank over at Tunes channel, so I think he's come over to pick it up.
Okay. Well, he must have subbed it because he wasn't able to.
You can't
Yes.
comment without subbing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you talking up Lindsay? Were you, Timbo?
I don't think I mentioned Lindsay. Otherwise, why would he be here?
Well, better grab that. I got the right. Need the right video. There we
Push
go.
play.
Push play.
Push play. Let's see what happens. See what happens.
Yeah, go on. Beautiful.
But I'm not sharing it into you guys though. Only
Hi there.
sound.
Just thought I'd do
no,
a video
that's
today
fine.
on some topics that have been brought up in the last couple of days. Welcome to Flat Earth Philosophy. Everything's Flat Earth here. All based on actual facts that no one can actually understand or comprehend or even want to agree with. But I still plod on.
Facts are
Because
in
I
your
know
head.
all the ancients knew. This is why I'm exposing it. This is where I got the information from. All the cultures, they all knew the system. It's all distributed throughout history, and all the esoteric knowledge that's been written down.
Where?
It's a bit like when God says in the Bible, you'll go down and separate the languages or whatever. Well, it's a bit like that, because there's a bit in every religion,
He doesn't
and there's
say
a bit
that.
in every tale.
Doesn't- yeah,
Like,
doesn't say that.
you've got Plato there, and you've got the Medica over there, and you've got Homer's Iliad, and the other one. You've got Pythagoras,
The
you've
other
got
one.
Euclid. It's all there. It's all scattered. I could bring the whole lot together and create the whole model of our
What,
Earth.
Pythagoras and
And I
Euclid?
have.
Come
So,
on.
Anyway, today's
Teach
video,
us a bit
some
about
flat
those
earth facts
guys,
and
Lindsay.
physics. So, this flat earthers hear this story here, land past Antarctica. Well, Antarctica is land. This is what I said to a mate of mine. What do you mean land is past Antarctica? Do people say the boot of your car is past the car? No, it's part of the car. Antarctica is a land mass with a flipping big shelf of ice all the way around its shoreline.
See,
No,
Lion.
get that one.
That's
So, this is someone I was talking to, deeply indoctrinated You know, some of these people, it's going to be really hard to get through to them, okay? So they say to me, so you're a flat earther, so you don't believe gravity. Ha 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 ha. They laugh. They have no understanding of flat earth whatsoever, and they're laughing. I mean, they didn't even give me a chance to say whether I agreed or not. I said, it
Dave
depends
said,
on where you think gravity is, what it actually is.
Okay.
So for these people to just come out and say stuff like this, you've got to expand on it with them and see how far you can go and what they actually know, and you'll find out most of them know nothing. So you say, well, do you know gravity involves general relativity? And then expand on that. Or what do they know about general relativity? They won't know much. They won't know anything probably. So then you
just like you, Lindsay.
you say, well, what's general relativity? What's the basis of it really? And then you have to tell them it's a curved linear coordinate system, which is basically describing the toroidal field of Earth. So, and then you can expand on that and say,
Well, that's a bit of a stretch.
what does science mean by curved linear? I mean, it's either curved or it's linear, straight or curved. Well, let's break that down. You see, from the north to the south, there's what we call meridians. Meridians on the Mercator map. They don't use it so much on this one, they just call them
A what?
arcs of longitude in the Gleason map. But from there to there, the north to the south is a meridian. All the way around, all there's meridians everywhere. It's part of the toroidal field. There's the north, there'll be another one here. So general relativity is talking about this toroidal field. Now, this
No, it's not.
this is, look, that's
I never
linear,
said
it's
anything
straight.
about that.
So there's a side view of it, but looking down on it, it's straight. But it's curved. It's curved. So one, they're referencing this type of situation here, but at the same time, they're calling it curved linear because the magnetic field, well actually there's the tropics here, tropical gap. They curve like
He knows
this.
himself.
It comes out of the north and curves like this. This is how the field works on our Earth, flat Earth. I mean, no one's even touched on this. This is like another world first of mine. Discovery.
Oh,
This
you
is how
heard it
the,
here first.
the
world
celestial
first
bodies
from
move in the
Lizzie.
southern hemisphere. This way. Out of the north they go like that. And then there's a straight patch in here. You see, this represents the bow. The bow, hand grip, an ancient text, esoteric knowledge, stories, Homer's Iliad, the Trojan War. It's everywhere people want to look, but, you know, most people are pretty ignorant. They just believe whatever they're told at school or what's on mainstream media. So,
Or what
You know,
people
see, I've lost
standing
this
in front of
person
a
already.
whiteboard with a ruler and
they know nothing.
making YouTube channels.
But if you can bring those things up and have an understanding, you can bury them every time. So, but just realise general relativity is talking about the curved toroidal field. Toroidal field looks like this, doesn't it? It's all curved. And then you have the reverse curving. It's sort of back this way. Pretty bad art, but you know what a toroidal field looks like. Look it up if you don't. There's a positive and a negative system going on, you see. The field will come out over the Earth positive, down through the Earth negative, come out again over the top positive, through the Earth, and out and over the top again, positive. Negative is through the Earth, positive over the Earth. That's just one of the
No,
dual systems.
that's not the way magnetic
Okay,
fields
so understanding
work.
what gravity is,
And you can't
so they're
cross the
connecting this
screen,
curved
either.
linear stuff, they're calling it gravity. Well, it is, because it's part of the two-way system. You know, the black hole, where Earth is created from the black hole, place of rest. You have this downward force, and there's this upward force in the vortex. The two coming together have created that fixed and stationary equilibrium in the centre here. There's a two-way system, positive and negative. And that's what creates it. That's why we have a moving toroidal field over us. That's what why the stars and everything are moving in that. They're moving in that toroidal field. Long story. I should get more specific with that in a particular video I might do one day. I've got scattered through a lot of my videos. Another subject was regarding a video I put out couple of months ago maybe, about the cold fusion about how we get the fresh water flowing through the earth from the Arctic to below the tropics and moves around the tropical zone here. Comes out of the centre and flows around the tropics here. Then someone asked, what do you mean scientists doesn't know where it comes from? It's exactly what I said. I said the scientists do not know where all this fresh water in the deep aqueduct system comes from. Go online. Unless it changed in the last month or so. And this water flows around beneath the ground, beneath the tropical region. And then this guy asked, how does the water rise then? He's talking about water. And I never said water, I said the molecules. Hydrogen molecules rise up through the tropics. Because this movement of water beneath the ground, this pure water, the hydrogen molecules build up kinetic energy.
Water.
They build up, become basically high pressure and want to seek low pressure. So they rise up to the tropical region around the Earth. And this is the hydrogen molecule. They seek the lower pressure region. And as they elevate, it's even getting lower and lower. The pressure's getting lower and lower. So the hydrogen molecule is rising up to the tropical gap. So what's a hydrogen molecule? A hydrogen molecule is 2 protons and 2 electrons. What are they doing? Where are they going? I'll put this in my video. 2 protons create helium. 2 electrons in this situation create equilibrium, balance. So the 2 electrons in the system rising up, pairing, is feeding the black hole, and the 2 protons are feeding the sun that sits on the horizon of the black hole. Because what's happening is the tropical gap, all the way around the flat Earth, the sun we see is attached to the centre, the actual sun we do not see. It's an umbilical cord, I call it. And this is where, well actually not necessarily there.
What's over there?
It could be at this point, where they're being drawn into the centre of the Arctic. But all this,
the
low pressure molecules here are being sucked into the centre here. So they could be drawn through the Milky Way, which I think they must do. Otherwise, what's the purpose in this situation? So everything gets drawn towards the sun.
Baby suns,
as the sun we see moves around the tropical region. The magnetic field, they swing into the sun and swing around the sun. Because what's happening here is a magnified image of what's happening back in here. So you have to think of the 2 systems. This is a blown up version of what's going on back here in creation. So the two protons coming up are forming the sun. But they're not really forming this sun. This is a reflection of the actual sun. They get pulled in to the centre to feed the actual sun. This is so this is expansion around here. Expansion of the molecule as it rises up, and then it has to go through the eye of the needle. It's something like that mentioned in the Bible, isn't it? There's expansion and contraction.
God.
So the 2 electrons are going in here to feed the black hole of creation, and the 2 protons are feeding the sun. Then you have to start thinking of, if you're up with your theology or esoteric stuff, why is there 2 snakes up the totem pole of the Holy Cross? 2 crosses, 2 snakes. The dual system. Why is there 2 by 2 in Noah's Ark? It's all about the duality.
Your mother hasn't told you about the birds and the bees?
No, I don't think
I
think he missed that bit.
Religion's all about. They're telling a story about the way the Earth works and how it's associated with the man's mind, brain. The Earth's been woken up. It's been created by a sun. Man has to wake up his pineal gland. That's the son of man. Hope you get that. So Noah, Noah represents godly, praise the Lord or something similar. And then the word ark, I could talk all day and still people won't get this because the ark is mentioned in many, many things. You've got Noah's Ark, you've got...
Yeah, but you mix up ark and of a circle and ark as a boat.
What's the woman's name, the French woman? Joan of Arc. Wasn't a real person. It's not what you might think when you've been taught.
Different ark.
You've got the Ark of the Covenant. Covenant. Cover the ant. You're a little man in here.
Covenant.
It's understanding all this stuff. You've got the knowledge.
Cover the ant.
Ark of the Covenant in the centre of the brain. That's your Solomon's Temple.
No.
Okay. Right, the ancient flat Earth map. Ancient flat Earth map. They decided to show the world in 2017, I think. It was drawn in 1587 by the Urbano Monti. Now, if you go check that map out, you'll find there's lots of these all the way around the outside. What have I shown in my earlier videos? How these represent the reflection back here in the north. It's your a southern image in your arc of horizon. There's many south poles. Wherever you are, anywhere around the earth, you have a direct north to south meridian. There will be a southern image.
Oh, there you
of
go.
that
Wherever
slice
you are,
in there of the north coming out here. To understand that, you need to go back and check out my last few videos. So everyone, no matter whether it gets his own little arc of horizon, his own star trail, it's fixed. It does not move. But if you were to track the stars, track them, they move west. They move this way. But they don't in the north. The northern star trail rotation doesn't move. It just goes around. It doesn't wander off. These all wander up this way. Because this is like a wheel rolling around the central northern wheel. Done videos on that. So check out my next video, The Secrets of the Hidden Sun. I thought I was the only one that knew about this, but science does know about it. They don't talk about it. I'll reveal that in the next video, okay? The hidden sun that's back in there. Some subscribers of mine basically ignore half the stuff I tell them. I don't know why. It all makes sense. You have to stop and think. They just get some system in their head and just go with it. Yet they don't understand the two hemispheres, the difference. I understand them fully. I should make a video of all the science discoveries I've made in physics. I did one once about a year ago, but I only mentioned a couple of things. But, you know, I think I've discovered a few more since then. And even the video on Euclid's 5 postulates. They didn't understand the 5th postulate. And they don't even realise that the 4 lead to the 5th. All roads lead to the 5th. They made up their own ideas about the 4. Couldn't quite figure out the 5th. So that's when they went off and decided to create their own called non-Euclidean geometry. And create the sphere. And then do everything with the sphere. When Euclidean geometry is all about the arc, the dome, the hemisphere. I think I'll write to a science journal.
Well, that's
one of the big science journals.
I'd like to see Lindsay and Bev together.
Because it's a bit like what Plato tells us in his dialogues, or Socrates or someone mentions. It's all so easy, but then it goes on to basically tell you that to get there is tricky, but once you find it, it's so easy. And when people realise what it actually is, just the way I've described it, they're all going to slap themselves. But the truth is, they're going to ignore it because they don't want to be seen as fools. They don't want you to know that the world was flat, and this globe stuff was just total BS. All over YouTube, there's all these globe videos or ancient history, and they keep shoving the globe in there, and they're talking about ancient cultures, and they keep throwing in things like, because it's a globe, you know, I don't think they should say, because they knew it was a globe. Sometimes they do, I suppose. Sometimes they knew it was a globe, so the blah blah blah. Or, because, you know, it was a globe, so blah blah blah. They just make it all up. It's all lies. All your history is all lies, basically. It's just all lies. So, I hope I described all that quite well. This is connected with cold fusion. When you understand this, how it works, these molecules, racing molecules, the atoms, 2 protons and 2 electrons, excuse me, that's how we're going to get cold fusion. Because it's expansion and then drawing them back in through the eye of the needle, contraction, tight magnetic field. They know all about this.
And that makes it cold, and that's who gets his
And
fusion.
it's all cold because
I
the
remember
sun,
that
the sun back here, the sun we don't see, sitting above the Arctic.
Carl's got to go. He's only got
It's
9
not-
minutes.
It's not the sun
Oh,
they tell you
dear.
it is.
Bye.
Those temperatures, ridiculous.
Ah.
It's all garbage, all lies to fool the masses, and all the masses go along with it. Except a
Need
few
to
people
pedal
that follow
hard,
me.
Carl.
I think
pedal
most of my
hard.
subscribers are actual science wannabes or physicists, keeping an eye on me.
I don't think
Just
so.
realise Elon Musk. Anybody who seeks the truth should be following Dr. Shiva. He exposes Elon Musk for what he is, exposes the backdoor portal to Twitter. He found it all through his court case. No one else helped him out. No one finances him. They're all against him. They're all one big establishment. And the system is rigged. It's quite clear in his when he ran for Senate in Massachusetts or somewhere, the way they fixed the system to shut him out. He should have won in a landslide. Dr. Shiva, get on board with Dr. Shiva, okay? What was I going to say about Elon Musk? It's a con. It's a big con. He's part of the establishment. I knew what was going on, and then Dr. Shiva just repeated what I had in my head already about how he gained all his money and all that. I knew all that. I knew it. If you're seeking the truth, you just sense you find the truth. Easy. It's out there in the wide universe. Open the mind, it all just flows in. So, yeah. We'll just leave it at that, shall I? Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Plenty of likes, more likes, the more it'll get out there, hopefully. Oh, that's what I was going to say about Elon Musk. Remember he said, Twitter is free speech, but it's not free, what do you call it? I can't think of the word now, I can't remember it. It's not free. In other words, you don't get an audience. They shadow ban you. You're basically talking to yourself. You might get a few likes or whatever here and there, or tweets or whatever. But no, you don't get the audience, just like I don't. All my information, this would have gone wild by now, but there's only 5,000 subscribers over
Is that-
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
This
the
is what they
birds in
do.
Lindsay's head?
They're all the same. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
No, I think Alan ran over a cat.
yeah.
they shut you down. They just lock you in, so you can't get out there. You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to hold public
Only
assemblies.
2 points for a
And
cat.
then look what happens. They ban you, like Jacinda Ardern banned Harvey Yemen from coming
they're all
over
in
and
the paper.
following the protest, the Wellington protest. They just shut you down every which way. Dr. Shiva will tell you all about it. Go check him out, one of his latest videos on Elon Musk. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers.
Well, that video is no different
Alan's
to any
got-
of his other ones.
No.
Just as informative as the last one.
Alan's gone wild.
Yeah, Wild Alan.
Cat's gone off the tracks. Ah, yes, just as useful as always. I like the one about, talking about the fresh water, and the person says, well, how does water get there? I didn't talk about water.
No.
Yeah, he did. Oh, there's dinner. He could have hit one of the ducks. Taken home. Good dinner. Hey, Paul, do you eat duck much?
Oh, not a real lot.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not
I
all.
find it very rich.
Yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Well, I got a Gary Why Bothered video here. He titled it "Blue Marble Science and PhD Tony Stumbling Over Gravity," and I had to whiz through it a bit. And
How long is it?
it goes for 32 minutes, but I couldn't pick up on anything that it was. He's talking about boats over the horizon, and then it goes some sort of shared through Discord something. I don't know what that's all about. I didn't get any further into it past there. And the other
Well, if it's
one,
Gary Wybinger, it's bound to be all wrong.
oh, it is. It's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped watching it when he was talking about the horizon and boats.
And it jumps all over the place too.
Yeah,
I'd imagined.
he did. Yeah, he jumped
I don't know.
jumped from a rise into something else.
Well, he keeps pushing his perspective theories, which somehow seem to know which way is down.
Oh, we got Bev with his whiteboard again with his lasers, talking about horizontal level. I'm gonna play a bit of that. I'm gonna play a section of that. Or Gary. Well, we know they're both wrong, so can't win. Got any sound?
Just you guys won't be able to see it.
Has he gone quiet?
Let's see if I can.
Oh, he's mumbling away.
Okay.
Mumbling. Don't see anything yet. Is there any?
There you go. How about that?
Oh,
Oh, my
There you
scenes
go.
are all over the
You
place.
guys can see
Try
that, can you?
Try that.
no, I can't. I can't.
There
see
we
that?
go.
I can't see
Yes,
that.
we can.
Now I can. Now we can see it.
It's not coming through my video camera.
Yeah, I don't dare to
But
share it in
I
here.
see the whiteboard.
Okay, okay. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Right,
New Year,
see
Beth.
this? Now,
No.
this is what's commonly known as the vertical. And
Really?
this is what's commonly known as the horizontal. Now,
Really?
these two have a relationship of perpendicular. This line is perpendicular to this line. This line is perpendicular to this line. This one's a horizontal. And this one's a vertical. This one's a straight line. And this one's also a
I'm
straight
glad
line.
after 2 years of study I worked this out.
Now,
yeah, but he didn't
this
prove that that was horizontal and
is
vertical.
when we've been doing this, we've been talking about
They might be perpendicular to
call
one
a
another, but how do
horizontal
we know
wally.
that's vertical and actually horizontal?
that requires. Let's see if I put that over there. So this is vertical, and we'll call this. Well, that's.
Call it vertical.
We'll call this here A.
We'll call it A.
That's
Okay.
This point, right at the cross section of that, and then we'll have this other point here.
And what are you going to call
Okay.
We'll
that?
call that
What are you going to call that?
B.
Oh, it's already got it marked.
Oh, you're going to call it B.
So we've been saying about the horizontal line. Can you orientate this line from here to here horizontally? And obviously, the answer is, of course. That's a horizontal line already, and you can put A on it, and you can put B on it. That makes that a straight line.
Like
Now,
putting A and B on it makes it a straight line.
this
Yeah.
A horizontal line.
is a vertical.
Yeah.
And this is a horizontal. This water level here, from here to here, is also establishing a horizontal.
That's what I said, Fred. Is
So
it
you can see the
No, it's-
relationship
no,
of
it's
this
not.
line to the water level within here.
No, it's not. It's
They're
just proving
similar.
the elevations are the same. at
I'd
both
say
ends.
horizontal. So what we've done is we've got 2 points, A and B, and we've orientated them horizontally. Switch this off.
And you
So-
created an equal elevation at point
Point
A
there,
and
A.
point B with the water level.
Point there, B. Now,
No,
Well, technically not, because
everybody
he's got to
knows
have the
that
mark
this
next
is
to
a
the
straight
water
line.
level, but okay.
you can
it's
give this
so
straight
technical.
line a unit value of 1.
No, you can't.
What does that mean?
Or you could scale it
What?
and call it 100 miles. It being a straight line.
Do you mean the
There's
distance between
zero
A and B,
difference.
maybe, if you give you a value,
Whether
but not
you
the straight
say
line?
it's length 1, or you say that length 1 represents 100 miles. It would make no difference. But you could still orientate this line, I would say, horizontally, no matter how long it is. It's unscalable. And the problem that comes when Blue Marble or any Blue Marble scientist that you're talking to about any of this
What's that?
Some
shows
blue marble
that
scientist.
this
There you
line
go,
being
Blue.
able to orient.
You should.
I think
should
he's trying to give a
copyright that,
shout.
Biff.
I think he's trying to give a shout out to somebody.
You should copyright that, so every time he says it, he has to pay you money.
Yeah, you didn't need to get royalties.
Orientate horizontally means that once we do this, along this straight line here
There's
at
no
point
line there,
A,
Biff.
we have a perpendicular to this horizontal, and everybody knows that's called a vertical. Here we have another plumb bob that is also orientated vertically, and as you can see,
Sorry.
the horizontal and the vertical together are perpendicular. The perpendicular at this end is a plumb bob, establishing a vertical.
It's not over point B.
And this perpendicular
just
here is a
magnetic.
plumb bob. Well, it's vertical. Lather.
It's wavy there.
And they're both perpendicular. In fact, every...
No, they're not.
Technically, no, they're not.
That's his problem
every
right there.
vertical
Yeah.
along this line
What the
here
what?
will always be perpendicular to the horizontal.
No, with a plumb bob it wouldn't be.
That's the way it is.
No, they're not.
Now,
they're not in that
Blue
situation.
Marble scientists
No.
will try and tell you that the length of this line changes the relationship between vertical and horizontal
No, the scale of it does. It's actually the
by
same. whether it's
measuring
that big or-
angles. Somehow, somebody's told a Blue Marble scientist that the angle here and the angle
Somebody,
here
somebody.
can
told
add
you.
up
Somebody
Oh,
told a Blue
somebody.
Marble scientist.
more
Who was it?
than 180 degrees.
You haven't told me yet, Blue. You need to tell me because I found this out
And
before. I
with respect
met
to a
you, so
vertical
who did you tell that told
and a
me?
vertical.
Then I didn't know you had a following, Blue. Like he says, Blue Marble scientist.
That's it's amazing. I've
You must go
created
back in
an-
the past too.
created an entire new
two new field.
group of yeah.
Yeah.
Scientific body of thinking.
And it's so secret. I don't even know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
So did you did you come over to Australia in about 1984, Blue? So you could tell my boss who told me about.
Did you do a worldwide tour?
Must have done a tour and told everybody.
Boy, I sure don't remember it. But yeah,
Do we get some kind of certificate when we become a Blue Marble
Yeah.
scientist?
oh, that's
Oh,
an
yeah.
idea. I should start putting out certificates. Yeah.
Yes.
Blue Marble science.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Subject: Blue Marble Science.
The vertical.
Just we'll find a testing body.
To achieve your certificate, all you have to do is trigger Bev.
Okay. Okay.
So
I'll bet I can come up with a certificate that looks just exactly like Bev's surveying certificate.
It do exactly the same.
Except it
Do
says
exactly
like
the s-
blue marble scientist on it.
Yeah.
do exactly the same, but with a blue background instead of a red one. And yeah,
as you can see, the vertical at that end is perpendicular to the horizontal at here also. There's no difference between the relationship between the vertical and the horizontal here.
yeah, but prove it.
And the relationship of the vertical
It's
and the
just words.
horizontal over here.
No, it's his laser level.
They're both
He
perpendicular.
Yeah.
trusts, he
This
trusts
line
his tool.
here is a horizontal.
But we say the length makes a difference. Well,
Okay,
prove
it's
that we're wrong.
in my laser level.
You got the equipment to do it.
Now,
Well, it's got it.
blue
in you.
marble scientists don't like this geometric fact. There's something wrong with it. I don't know whether
No.
there's something wrong with the vertical or the perpendicular to it, the horizontal. But as you can see,
It's the fact that
this water
doesn't
level
meet reality. That's what we have a problem with.
that goes from here to here, that hasn't changed at all. And the vertical,
But it has been.
pull-offs that occur, they've got nothing to do with this water level. Nothing at all. So Blue Marble Science has made a video stating that what I've told you today about perpendicularity between the vertical and the horizontal doesn't actually take place. Something happens when you lengthen the horizontal in the Blue Marble scientific community to the perpendicular. Now, I would say that's impossible, but they're very committed to their scientific model.
It's
They have
because that's
very
the way
much
it measures, Beth.
Like
Yeah, it's the one it works.
massive amounts.
Yeah.
In the fact
It's like he
that
thinks we went out and said,
from here
"Oh, let's go and
to here,
we think this is what happened. Let's measure the verticals." Actually, no,
you
it's the other
can't
way around.
establish
The
a
verticals
horizontal.
weren't parallel. And I said, "Oh, why is that?"
Like
Well,
Blue
that
Marble
matches the curve
Science
of the
would
Earth.
even have a problem with you being able to say that this line here, that we'll call a unit value 1, that is possible within
No, they
the
don't.
framework
That's a
of
lie. The
any
whiteboard,
of
no,
this.
Oh no,
fine.
You
Well,
can't
no,
make
it's
it
possible.
1 mile.
on that whiteboard,
From
it's
there to
absolutely
there and
possible,
say
Bill.
that
That doesn't represent
horizontal being a
reality. That's the
straight line.
problem.
They have a certain amount of numbers
That is
that
not
have to come
reality.
in and confuse this straight line.
That's like
Damn those
a few
pesky
times.
measurements. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. That's
So,
terrible.
Damn that real world.
Is everybody okay with that, or was that a bit too simple for people to understand?
Hmm.
Are people all right with the fact that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular? So if you have
At one point, yeah.
a horizontal,
No,
every
you
one
don't.
of the perpendiculars, no matter where you would have it, if you have a horizontal line going from there to there, that at this point, the perpendicular to that horizontal, well, that would be vertical perpendicular to the horizontal.
No, it wouldn't.
The
No,
horizontal
it
goes
wouldn't.
to here, and perpendicular to that.
No, it wouldn't.
Again, it's perpendicular. There's a 90 degrees there and a 90 degrees there. Let's draw it in.
Gravity vectors are radial, Bill.
Right.
Sorry.
Radio.
Yeah.
They're radials. Every point's got a different horizontal.
That's right. And you're kind of forgetting that you're not a surveyor, Bev. So why would we listen to you when you're talking about surveying?
Yeah, when I can
Yeah,
read
well-
papers written by real surveyors.
We can
People
look at
actually
measurements
don't-
taken by real surveyors.
Uh-huh.
Straight line. Now,
Actually went out and did it.
would everybody be okay with calling that a horizontal
No.
No.
in the chat?
No problem with it being horizontal at the
From
point
A
of
to B?
intersection.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fine.
No, I think it's out. I think it's
So,
a bit low on the bottom side.
If
It's
we
close.
were to
okay, let's
put,
say it's close
I
enough.
mean, I'm doing this for
Perhaps-
purposes here.
I thought you did drafting,
I
Bev.
would
That's
do draw
not a
it
very good.
geometrically, but
Well, he's got his
Draw a
water
circle
level set up on
on
each side of the board, so
let's say we'll put that on there.
Yeah, it's manual drafting's a little bit too required, but okay, let's call
what
that.
if you used the water level to level his whiteboard so it actually...
G'day.
I don't understand why it's.
Hey, Matt.
Good day, Matt. How are you?
Yeah,
I don't understand why his water level doesn't line up with his laser. I would have done that. Anyway.
Watch this.
You go now.
Oh,
I like this trick.
don't do
Yeah.
that.
Just use
Don't
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
we always did that in mechanical drawing class.
Oh,
Triangle.
right.
Oh, yeah, we always did
Oh,
that.
look how
Triangle.
out that is.
Oh, shit.
dear.
It's an isosceles
Look at-
triangle.
I only got raked
But
over the
this one
coals for
here
that.
is, 90 degrees, so we call this a square, but it's an actual
Yeah.
triangle. It's not an actual.
Yeah, that's when you
square.
get hit in the side of the
But
head
what
with a
it
scumbag.
enables us to do is to be able to
That
put
one's
these,
better, but the one on the A is oh, that's bad.
these
remember
you've
those
seen
damn
these
little
little square shapes here.
eraser bags they call scumbags.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mechanical drawing instructor was good at throwing those damn
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You
That
smack
means
right in the
these
head
are
with
right
one of 'em.
angles. You could also do that
And you always get that rubber, that smell of rubber. Of just,
Yeah.
to show that
left with it.
all
Oh,
right
he's
angles
just
are
he's
equal.
just declared the
They're
his
all
set square's got
perpendicular
right
to
angles
each
in it.
other.
Oh, wait, really?
So, within
just figured that out, has
geometry,
he?
at least, if this line here were to be horizontal, then perpendicular here would be called vertical, and the perpendicular here would also be called vertical.
Yeah, and they have to draw one right angle.
Now, can
triangle
anybody
something,
see any reason for this relationship here and this relationship here of these lines to change if
Yep,
this
I can.
line
Yep.
here were
Yep.
to be
Because the
level?
Okay,
direction of
no.
vertical changes, Bev.
Sure can. No problem.
If
Let's take a-
horizontal is a straight
But he-
line,
But
It
but he
cannot
drew it
happen.
on the whiteboard, so
Never
it must be
change.
true.
So the entire
Oh, these
conversation
water levels crooked.
that needs to be had is a conversation about
We've had the
this straight
conversation.
line here.
Make a
Yeah,
conversation.
but
Not this
We've had
one,
the
because
conversation.
Pull your
everybody
head out of
agrees
your
that
ass, yeah.
vertical is definitely
Go and
a
measure
straight
it
line.
yourself. Go on.
And everybody
Go and prove it.
understands that
Yeah,
at
go
least
go
within
outside and do it,
geometry,
Bev.
that this being a
Go
straight
up near
line,
Blackpool. That's a good
there
place.
is a perpendicular.
You told me 2
Yeah.
years ago you were going to. You told me
This
2 years
also
ago you were going
here
to go and prove it. Go
Is
and
a
prove it.
straight line, and there is a perpendicular. But just by the understanding of this straight line, you could make perpendicular to this straight line geometrically. Draw that over to there, establish a horizontal, and then make a perpendicular here. Now, when I say make a perpendicular, you could just hang a plumb bob. If you know that this line here is horizontal, then a plumb bob here,
How do you know that?
perpendicular to the horizontal, and a plumb bob here, perpendicular to the horizontal.
Bev, how
There
do you
is
know
no
that's horizontal?
change to the geometric understanding of this straight line relationship.
Terry, he's just saying the same crap. Is this going to carry on for much longer?
And we got, but somebody keep us up to date with Blue Marble if he's asking some ridiculous fucking questions that we can obviously try and help them answer. We're talking about geometry, Blue Marble science. For any Blue Marble scientists out there, this is purely geometric around the straight line. There are questions and things that you're going to have to deal with.
And therefore, it's not reality,
these are so basic concepts.
Well, normally he says it's purely Euclid. You usually says that rather than just geometry.
This horizontal line here can be made, then at any point along it, you could hang a plumb bob.
15th time
and you could rest assured that that plumb bob would be perpendicular to the horizontal, because you know the geometric.
Wait a minute, he changes.
No, he doesn't. I bet you it's no different.
Well, he wrote horizontal there, so there you go, it must be true.
So nothing different yet. Same thing you said 15 minutes ago.
Because now we did this quite a bit ago.
No, you didn't.
We did this quite a bit ago within the formulation of logic when we all started with logic. This is something that Saragaki brought to us. It's been a part of the Discord chat for quite a while. It's been, let's say, dismissed by a lot of people, but everybody, if you've been in the Discord chat, you will have definitely seen this. We had this discussion quite a bit. Now, this is...
It's exactly the same.
What you call a perpendicular proof within mathematics.
And that's not proof.
The only difference... Another.
It's your...
that's called a right angle.
Anything else?
Obviously. Blue Marble says I'm not very bright by thinking. How tragic that you've had your fantasy destroyed by a guy that isn't very bright.
Well, he's right about that. He's right about not being very bright.
Hang on, Bev. Hang on. Can I say something?
Destroyed any fantasy, Blue? Huh?
Yeah.
No, you can't say
the fantasy is a spinning ball flying through a vacuum.
No, it's not. No.
Oh, that must take hours to think that.
We're not yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about perpendicularity between straight lines.
Well, he doesn't want to say that the Earth is not round.
But his model says he can't have a straight line for a horizontal.
I'd let him say that. I don't.
Okay,
I wouldn't like for you to tell us what Blue Marble thinks, because Blue Marble could just say he doesn't think that.
Too much of a coward to come in here and tell us what he
won't say it. He won't say it, but it doesn't need you to tell him. He just needs to let everybody know how he can't tell everybody about his new relationship between. So he says here, look, I'm not very bright.
Well, you've discovered something.
I'm not very bright.
No, you said I was not very bright, Bev. You're the one that said it. I'm repeating what you said.
I don't have any fantasies, Blue. I don't live in that world of fantasy. Just live in reality. And I know that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular. There's no fantasy there.
Proved it yet.
And you haven't destroyed the perpendicular relationship between vertical and horizontal, Blue. It's a mathematical proof. You've just seen it. Gaki's just shown you literal mathematical proof of perpendicularity. A Blue Marble scientist can't just come along and do the farmer's boy thing from in the chat and pretend he's destroyed vertical and horizontal being perpendicular. It's absolutely ridiculous, Blue.
You don't say that every point along a horizontal is vertical. That's
Paid NASA Shill talking about perpendiculars being not 90 degrees.
Where's he say that?
Yeah, I was just going Blue Marble. I'm just stating that you seem to have come up with a geometric proof that vertical and horizontal are not perpendicular.
A real world proof, you mean?
I would
Not
say
geometry.
is
Who said that? Nobody said that.
slightly.
No one says that.
No.
Maybe
I haven't heard Blue
misleading.
say it. I haven't heard anyone say it apart from him.
I don't know what you would say. How would you say it?
Just making
You
shit
may-
up.
I
doesn't he?
think Blue
Just like-
Marble Science and the Blue Marble
Words in people's
Scientists are
mouths.
definitely trying to
Did
mislead
you know you're a Blue
people
Marble Scientist, Matt?
around the geometric claim.
No,
Oh,
he hasn't
Mike.
got the.
of
No, he hasn't
Blue
got a
Marble
certificate.
Scientists.
No, you're not. You haven't got a certificate.
Seem
yet.
to be
You
mad.
got-
Oh,
Have you
yeah,
got a
yeah,
certificate?
you got to get a certificate.
Have you
And,
got certificates? Have you?
Yeah,
by
yeah,
extension, logic.
Blue's setting them up now.
without fully understanding
It's
what it
okay.
is that
We're
they're
all going to
actually
get one.
doing.
We're all going to get one.
Like I say, Blue, I don't want to be going over your video and giving you any more embarrassment. I've just done the advanced simplicity.
Embarrassment.
In other
you
words,
have
he doesn't want to
video,
expose himself to the measurement
I
facts
think we'll be
again.
going over on Thursday.
Oh, and I pressed the shit out of
that
him to go ahead
is,
and do that, and he wouldn't do it.
over at
Blue,
Gem
do
Pandas
you
when we went
do you
over
feel
there,
embarrassed?
We went over there
at all?
talking about
Not a
the
bit.
triangle.
No.
Which
I don't think
is
so.
sort of an extension of this. But this is the perpendiculars at either end of a straight line. Look at Blue begging. Like Blue, it doesn't matter how much you beg. I've said I'll give you a chance to make any
You're begging.
corrections.
It's Blue begging.
I'm begging you to make a
Just
fool of
to
yourself,
be
Bill.
fair,
That's what I'm
Blue, I mean, I
begging.
don't want to be going back on something. There may be something that I've said tonight about the perpendicularity between horizontal and vertical that you may have missed within your video. I'm just going to give you a full
no.
chance.
I didn't miss anything, buddy.
I don't know. Like, I'd say I'd be
I
willing
didn't
to
miss
give you a
anything.
week or so to go over it and fix it.
You'd be willing to give me a week or so, hoping I will.
Or you
forget
could
to
go
open your
over
mouth.
with Rumpus, do a live stream and go over with Rumpus to sort it out. Gives you a chance to do a live stream all about it, Blue. You go over that
Like
and
that,
then
wouldn't
we'll have a look at that. If you're
Why do I
scared
want
to
to
come
be
in, if you
desperate
don't
for
want to be
content?
expressing
Yeah.
your
For content, yeah.
geometric
Desperate.
understanding of how you can rebut perpendicularity of vertical.
I don't know how
and
many times
horizontal.
I've seen him sitting down in that channel nearly by himself,
It's only fair, Blue.
waiting for someone to
Might have
turn up.
surprised you with these basic geometric things. I mean, you laid down the terms at the beginning. Straight line. Vertical is definitely a straight line.
Yes, that is true.
No, Blue. Listen. I'm giving you a chance to fix anything that you might have made a mistake on. Because I think Blue Marble Science has to be doing something with this relationship of perpendicular between vertical and horizontal. And it is a Blue Marble scientific experiment. Would you call it an experiment, Blue? That we could lie in the Blue Marble scientific realm.
Observation.
It's very geometrical.
Blue
That's why
Marble
I'm saying
scientific
I
realm.
don't know what to make of it.
Hmm.
And we,
Blue
like I
Marble
say, if
scientific
you
realm.
really want us to go over it and
What's that then?
point out the logical flaws within
Yeah, please do.
the Blue Marble scientific
Let's see you do it, Bill.
experiment,
You're all talk, Bill.
that I don't even think you did it, did you, Blue? Did you take?
Oh, here we go.
Were you part of
Oh,
this
yeah.
scientific experiment, or do you want to just make sure that all of the facts are right? That you've got everything understanding, because we are dealing with geometric proofs. Blue marble science. Sorry.
Well, sorry,
I don't
Bill.
want
I
to be
wasn't around
speaking
in
to just one
1850 when
person.
they were
This is
triangulating the
a
39th
blue
parallel.
marble scientific consensus, isn't it, Blue?
Could it be that maybe the blue marble scientists are a little bit confused, thinking we're talking about some shape of something?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm talking about the
Could be
geometric
confusing.
relationship of
I
straight
know.
lines. Yeah.
It seems very simple. I mean, this is not very
I
complicated
think you
stuff, and
say very
stuff.
simple.
If you've went through geometry, taken any geometry, it's fairly easy. I know it seems
Well,
advanced. That's why Bev calls it advanced simplicity, but it really is very simple.
It's not advanced.
And
Maybe
blue,
they're conflating it with something else, possibly.
yeah,
verticals and
Blue Marble's putting a
perpendiculars.
shout out to any more Blue Marble scientists. Please, Blue Marble says, come in and press Bev on this geometric understanding of vertical and horizontal.
Did you say that?
Agree.
No, I didn't.
Come on in. Press me on it.
Where did
Test me.
Liar?
The relationship of two straight lines. Well, three straight lines, and the perpendicularity of two of them to a similar straight line. Just perpendicular at A and perpendicular at B. The orientation of the line AB, horizontal.
That comment was aimed at the
Very
Euclideans.
simple.
Not,
We've shown
not
you
any of us.
geometric proofs. But
Dumbass.
like Blue Marble says from the chat, everybody come in. Press me on it. Question me. Question anybody else. I mean, this is perpendicular within geometric understanding. Make sure I'm talking about it. Come on in. Please do. Blue Marble requires you
Well,
to. I don't think he can do it.
What he does is skip a few, 2 or 3 comments that you make, and then just pick out one that he likes, and he shows that one. That's what he does.
And Rumpus isn't coming in.
Is that what most flirts do, though?
Is there anybody else in here? Is anybody
more so than others?
When somebody points out about the perpendicular relationship of straight lines, that people are acting like it's something new. The Blue Marble scientists are like, you've discovered something that's sort of strange. But I mean, everybody within mathematics and within geometry, and I suppose by extension logic, you can derive these things very simply.
Well, why did the other people agree with you, mate?
And you'd have to go a long way to try and confuse people about it.
I don't know. I think we just go to your channel.
Larry wants to know we're going to get extra merchandise, Blue, like membership cards, magic rings, stuff like that.
All right, well, you got to be a Patreon if you want to get the secret decoder ring.
Oh, okay.
Can't just give it stuff away.
Yeah, sometimes Blue and Miss You. Somebody want to come in?
Yeah, I wanted to put in a request.
Yeah, go on.
You don't understand.
You want a you don't understand to finish off with?
That's all I've heard today.
Oh, I haven't put the new you don't understand in here yet.
Whatever you like. Thanks, man.
No
what
problem.
was that about?
We've
I don't get
got,
that.
You don't understand Brenda. You don't understand elevations. You don't understand LIGO in the hump. And you don't understand triangles. I think triangles seem to be the order of the day for today.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Okay, so I hope this is running, and I do need to do a 2023 clear out and a reordering.
What is it you
of
don't
my
understand about
YouTube live
triangles,
show.
Blue?
Hopefully,
Apparently you don't
we might
understand
be able
triangles.
to build upon this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow, Hump Day. Hopefully there will be a rebuttal from Blue Marble Science, but I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's going to leave us to explain the impossibilities of his claims.
If Blue doesn't go in there for a while,
know.
your channel's
Normally
got
be
nothing. Nothing.
What did he do that I would need to rebut?
Yeah, there's nothing to rebut. Really?
No.
You could maybe teach him, like, well, that's pretty standard.
No.
Or attempt to then.
I don't think so.
No.
Apparently you don't understand about triangles. What is it you don't understand about triangles, Blue?
I thought I had a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah, I thought you did too. But I don't know. According to him, you don't understand triangles or something.
This is who tries to do the. What was I saw the other day? The three. It drops over a certain distance. Rubbish. Like if you have a triangle and their argument is, if that triangle's on the sphere, it would drop 8 inches over 1 mile, and then 8 inches over the next mile, and 8 inches over the next mile.
Oh yeah. You just go back and forth. You never have to dig a hole. You just go back and forth a few times. And
Yeah.
Get a different elevation.
Yeah. Just keep going down and down and down according to his logic.
Yeah.
We'll just ask him to draw that triangle on a sphere, and then explain how that 8 inches per mile works.
And it happens much quicker. And it happens much quicker than you think, because 3 lots of 8 are 28, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that cracked me up. Oh, that
dear.
show last week just I just lost it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was something that Blue. I can't remember what it was, but it was something that Blue said, and it just set me off, and that was it. I was done. I can't even remember what it was now.
So the first graticule away from the central one in an auto level represents a divergence of what, 10 milliradians? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, a divergence of 10 milliradians away from what?
Right.
Yeah, that's the bit that Bev doesn't seem to quite comprehend, right? He thinks that the important part of an auto level is the stadia rod.
Could somebody educate?
It absolutely doesn't work unless you've got a surveying rod. You can't use an auto level unless you have a surveying rod. I don't even think you can see through the eyepiece unless there is a surveying rod somewhere in front of the thing.
Yeah, he says that it's an important part of the procedure, but isn't there an antecedent to that part of the procedure? And that is that to effectively use the stadia rod, you have to have an established horizontal at that stadia rod.
You have to have lines to be able to see in the first place.
Because if you can't assume that central graticule represents the horizontal at the stadia rod, then you're stuffed. You can't do any calculations, can you?
Nope.
Yeah. So somehow for Bev, it represents horizontal at the stadia rod, but not at Blackpool.
Well, something happens just on the other side of the rod.
Yeah.
We don't know what.
Yeah.
But everything works perfectly right up to the point that whatever it is hits the rod, and then beyond that, it just goes and does whatever it wants to.
Oh, so the rod's the limit then?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, yeah.
Everything stops at the rod.
Unless, of course, you take a step back and it magically comes into focus. Apparently, that's true.
Yeah, somehow or the other, the auto level knows where the stadia rod is.
Apparently, yeah. Would have made it, if he had told the guys that made the one-man stations, 20 years ago, it would have saved them a lot of effort, because they could have just said, well, you know where the staff is, just turn yourself and find it.
Somebody educate me a little bit now. Am I right in saying a datum is a coordinate system? Is that right? So what a datum is?
It's not what you'd call a datum in surveying, but technically, yes, you could argue that.
What's datum?
A datum is kind of like a particular point or level in a coordinate system.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a system. It's a reference. Usually, you refer to a datum, which is usually a reference of one sort. So, almost all datums throughout the world are spherical or run to the geoid. A lot of them run to the geoid rather than to the spheroid, but it's not much difference between it in reality.
And does each country have its own datum system then?
They do,
because they run to their own mean sea level. So because mean sea level varies throughout the world. So
yeah, of course, gotcha.
You can't pick the UK one isn't going to be the same as the Australian one. Even if you transferred it, it wouldn't be the same, because funny enough, not all water is level. Like the oceans are actually different. There's a difference in level between the Pacific and the Atlantic and all sorts of things. So yes. So in surveying, and generally if you refer to datum, you're referring to the baseline at which elevations are measured from. That's the thing is, so an elevation is the distance to the datum.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, and you can pick a local datum. You can, if you're doing a small survey, you can say, okay, I'm going to make up my own datum. I'm not going to use.
You can. They do all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, as long as you're consistent with that particular survey that you're doing, you're using the same datum all the time, then obviously you're going to be fine. So you can pretty much use any one. Gotcha.
Hey, you don't have to go wandering off, 3 miles away to find a benchmark for sea level. You don't have to do that. You can.
Yeah, gotcha.
You can say, okay, I'm just going to pick this corner over here, put a stake in the ground, and I'm going to call that 100 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's typically what a surveyor will do. A surveyor will do. They'll use 100 feet as their local datum. Gotcha. And that way they never end up with a negative elevation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. A good example of that is the cross-linked rail. They don't use the ordnance survey datum. They actually use 100 feet below, and they created their own spheroid for that. It could be geoid. I can't remember now.
Right.
But they obviously had to lower it because they're digging tunnels, and so the tunnels could be below sea level. So they, apart from the fact that they wanted a more accurate curved surface, because they were finding, when they first did their survey, they were finding the curvature of the Earth wasn't taken into account, and their levels were popping up in the wrong spot. So they redid the geoid for that particular purpose, because they needed more accuracy than they were getting supplied. So they actually have their own data. So it's a different datum than usual, and sometimes called a London datum, but I think it's got another name, rail datum or something or other.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, Timbo, because, for example, earlier when I was out for my little trip, we went through an area that was below sea level.
Yeah.
that nice path that you commented on by the side where I came off the road and went down that sort of slightly muddy path, that's actually below sea level.
Yes.
So
I can see that.
Yeah, you'd rather not have negative elevation showing up on your elevation profiles. It is too easy to lose track of that.
Yeah, you accidentally subtract when you should add, and
right. Yeah.
you end up getting completely wrong.
Well, yeah, for the same reason they'll always set the 0 point of a northing easting type, type of coordinate system to the west and to the south in the northern hemisphere of that entire grid. So you never end up with a negative northing or a negative easting.
So the other thing you'll hear is azimuth. Often azimuth is referring to its horizontal. When I say horizontal, I don't mean as in Bev would use it. I mean as opposed like your planial direction. So you'll create an
lateral
azimuth.
Would be a better
lateral.
word.
Good, that's
lateral,
a good word.
Yeah.
And so yes, that will define which way you're pointing. So often most survey plans have 2 points marked on them to say usually A and B, and they say that's their azimuth line, and then they'll define what that azimuth is, whether it's been sometimes it's just a local one that they make up and say, oh look, that's close enough to north, let's say that's 0 degrees, but most of the time they'll actually work out where true north is relative to that, or actually most of the time they'll actually assign it to the grid system that they're using. So if they're using in our case it would be MGA, which is MapGrid Australia, they'll pick the coordinates that are relative to that, and that'll be their azimuth line, and then all their bearings are taken from that. Unless of course it's over a much longer distance, so you do that for shorter lines. But if you've got a much bigger area, like if you're getting beyond a few kilometers, then you've got to start referring to your you may have to have several azimuths as you traverse, or you might just refer back to the grid system which has already been defined. So azimuth is horizontal. We call it horizontal. That's why I try not to use the word, because it confuses in terms of how Bev uses horizontal. But horizontal is your plane looking at it from above, and vertical is obviously your levels from your datum. So that's usually how you would refer to it.
Yeah, I understand what an azimuth is, obviously within.
And they use azimuth in terms of space.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Astronomy is what I was looking for. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's the same terms, but just obviously when you're working on a plan, you're looking directly down as opposed to looking up.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Know a little bit more about it now.
What was your question in the first place, Matt?
I can't remember now.
What's the datum? I remember the question.
What's the datum? Yeah,
That's
of course I do.
Okay.
What's the
Of course
datum?
I know, but what's the datum? What's the datum?
I just wanted to see if you remembered your first question.
Surveying.
Yeah.
No,
and it's one of the big things that Bev gets wrong, trying to say that the datum is the point at I can't remember where it is. Alan will tell me where the sea level is measured in Britain, in England. Newman. It's actually the datum that they use passes through that point. That's not the datum itself. The datum is defined from that point, not reference to that point. So that's actually incorrect to say that's the datum. It's not.
The datum extends out in all directions from that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a starting point. Yeah.
And and spherically, not
right.
It's not on a plane.
It is every other point that's at that same elevation.
Yeah. Well, Timbo, you've lost your avatar, by the way. You've just got an OBS showing.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm just switching to something else. That's fine.
Oh, that's right.
His turtle's having a rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Oh no.
I just when my brain was having a rest.
Do you want to do a quiz?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on, do a quiz.
I didn't know whose turn it was.
It was my turn.
Was it your turn?
Oh, if you were quick, you would have seen some answers.
Yeah, because I remember the apparently the easy hard quiz that Paul did on Saturday. wasn't easy at all.
Okay. This is just a bit of a discussion to start off with. Can you name 3 significant scientific achievements that happened? See if you come up with the same 3 I came across. No, there's no wrong answers. There's no wrong answers here. It's
well, I don't know if you call it a scientific achievement, but James Webb obviously has come online and it's discovered all kinds of different things. So I would say James Webb, personally. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? What about DART? Do you think DART was an achievement?
DART was achievement. Fusion. The fusion thing as well. That's a big one, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day. Can't miss that one.
Sending a remote craft around the moon and back.
Yeah, I suppose.
It could have been classed as.
Is that a scientific achievement? Well, I suppose
It's been done. Well, it was, but it's been done before. It's definitely the first time. Just hasn't been done for a while.
It hasn't been done for a while. Human-rated spacecraft. It was done around the moon and come back.
I suppose the retrograde orbit was new. They didn't do that before. So, is retrograde orbit, is that the right term?
Deep. Oh, I've forgotten what it's called now. I can't remember. Deep space retrograde orbit or something on those lines. Yeah, bit of a strange one.
Okay. So I had DART's mission. Yeah, I think I had James Webb. I had one very important one.
One other important one, not the fusion.
Yeah,
not fusion.
They were able to get brain cells to play Pong. I thought that was extremely important.
Now growing brain cells to play Pong, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn, I was hoping I was going to make the list too.
Sorry.
Well, I figured out a way to synthesize Viagra in the garage.
You know why that last one's such an achievement, Timbo?
Yeah.
It's because now they can manufacture flat earthers.
Oh,
yes,
God.
Yeah, but wouldn't playing Pong be a bit of a stretch for a flat earther to...
Yeah, it might be.
We didn't say they'd be winning, Terry. We just said they'd be able to play.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, who's this? This is just my interlude.
Wells.
Yeah, very good. It is Clive Wells.
Oh, what is that? Clive
Straight
Wells,
up.
I don't know.
There you go. That didn't take long. Okay.
Could have let the peanuts, little time to have a go.
Is Clive out there today?
I don't know if is Clive there.
No, I haven't seen Clive tonight.
He usually manages.
Oh, there he is. Hello, Clive.
Oh, there he is.
Time, so...
Oh, he was lurking.
I wanted an answer. I wanted a question that everybody else could get except Clive.
All right, let's have a look. Let me read this. I obtained a PhD from General Relativity Group, Department of Applied Mathematics and Theoretical Physics in Cambridge. All right, he's a smart guy. I studied the mathematical theory of black holes and time machines, often formally quantum mechanical problems associated with closed time-like curves. My thesis was entitled "The Application of Differential Geometry in Classical Quantum Gravity." Try saying that when you're drunk. And contained various work on the black hole uniqueness theorems and the problem of unitarity in CTC spacetimes. I have no idea what that means.
My question, Clive,
Very
is
good.
How old is that photo?
Yeah, how old is Clive right there in that photo?
How old is Clive in that photo, Clive?
Yeah.
Let's see if he answers. Okay. Well, while Clive's answering that question, let's move on to some other ones. Oops. Okay. Who directed the 2018 superhero film Black Panther? I give 30 seconds because you either know it or you don't.
I haven't got a clue.
Is your missus there? She might know. Nobody.
Not
Stephen
the
Hawking
same guy
did not do it.
directed the Avengers?
No. No. It was Ryan Coogler.
No, I wouldn't have guessed
I didn't
that.
get anyone get that. Nah, wasn't going to hang around on that one. Okay, what Major League Baseball Yogi Berra's real name?
No,
Anybody?
don't follow Major Baseball.
Yogi
Maybe
Berra's
Blue,
real
Blue
name,
might get that
Clive
one.
Barkley.
Maybe.
Do you follow baseball, Blue?
Yeah, but I can't remember what Yogi's real name was.
Got a few seconds out in the peanuts to pick it up, because getting to about should be getting at about now. So let's see if we get any answers. Any baseball fans out in the peanuts? Let's see.
Clive Wells, the research group that Clive Wells was in, apparently Stephen Hawkins headed it, apparently. Was that part of
wow.
the research group you're in, Clive, was it? Very good.
Cool.
Man himself.
Boo Boo Bearer. No, that was his sidekick.
No, come on.
Yogi Bear.
Nobody names their kid Yogi Berra. His real name was Yogi
Lawrence?
Smith.
Lawrence Peter Bearer. Yes, there you go.
All
Is
right,
his real
okay.
name. Okay. Okay. Cajun Holy Trinity of cooking consists of what 3 vegetables?
Oh.
Anybody?
Celery, onion. Somebody go for the third.
Nah.
My missus was watching a cookery program and they mentioned that. And I can't
Well, I
remember.
better ask her quick. Ask her quick.
She's not here. She's not around.
What you got to
No.
do is tell her on Wednesday that you're having a quiz.
She's good with kind of like things like celebrities and movies and films like that, things like that. She can remember celebrities' names and actors and things, but no, I can't. I'm no good at that. But yeah, she loves the cookery program, so she might have known.
Onions, bell peppers, and celery. So bell peppers. Oh yes, Zebulon got it.
There you
go. Zebulon snuck in there for Zebulon.
I probably would have said chilies, so I wouldn't have been too far wrong. I had that in my head.
There's no chilies in there.
No chilies.
Clive still hasn't said how old he was in the photo. Okay. What was the first
the answer
console
to the last
game?
question to do with the vegetables would have been Witsit, Bev, and Leo.
Yeah, I saw that one. Okay, what was the first console video game that allowed the video game to be saved?
I'm going to go with Atari.
Sega?
Which one?
I don't know.
Atari. I'm assuming you're saying the Atari 1600 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know there was lots of different models. I'm not sure.
NES, yes. It was.
Oh, Nintendo.
Legend of Zelda.
Oh, the game.
Yeah, the game.
Oh, the game itself. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Got to read the question.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Okay. Zelda. Binary.
Yeah, Brainary
Yeah, Brainary got it. Yeah. Okay. What is the fungal Fidelum picket, also known as?
mushroom.
Yes, all mushrooms are fungi.
I know that.
You
That's why I
asked
said mushroom.
Yeah, but what mushroom though? This is what he's looking for.
A little bit more detail there too.
Yeah,
just
a little bit more detail.
Kept in the dark and
magic mushrooms.
Magic mushrooms. And what are they called? Let's see if anybody out there knows which magic mushrooms.
Oh. Bloody horrible. He's talking about
magic mushrooms.
Oh,
I'll call it Bev.
Athlete's foot.
Kept in the dark and thrives on
Oh,
bullshit.
we've got an answer out there.
The toadstool.
Oh,
there.
Hold a bellow. Maybe.
Bleeding tooth fungi.
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't think any of you get that one. Okay, who's this guy? You won't get this one that quick. Okay, Clive, who's this guy? I'm looking for a question you can't answer. I'll give Clive 20 seconds.
Histiopathology. Oh, okay. And cytopathology. I don't know what either of those are.
Okay. This Clive is also Clive Wells. I just looked up Clive Wells. And found
Yeah, I like that. No, it's a Clive Wells can't answer.
This is like a Fleetwood Mac quiz, isn't it? Oh.
Okay. Glenn Close is allergic to something. I don't think that clue gives it away that much, I got to admit. But in 101 Dalmatians, the live action film, that is, that's what they're referring to. What would she be allergic to? I'll give you a clue. It wasn't fur or dog hair or anything.
Oh, I was just going to say dog hair, but it's too obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit hard to read the text. How are you guys reading the text? Does that look all right? Yeah, well,
Yeah, it's readable.
looks it up. Yeah, it looks all right to me. I'm looking on the YouTube. Seems okay. Anyway, I'll look into that for
Clive
next time.
said that looked nothing like me. That picture.
She was. Now, what does Cruella de Vil have in her hand? Nobody knows. I
don't know. I didn't see the movie.
Not a clue. No, me
no
neither.
one knows. No one knows popular culture. I don't know. Okay, tobacco. She's
Tobacco.
To cigarette.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because she's always having a cigarette with a cigarette holder, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. In regards to data storage, what does the acronym SSD stand for?
Oh, that's too easy. Solid state drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Very good. Okay. What is the name for the monetary unit used in Thailand?
The baht or baht or something.
Baht.
Baht.
BHAT. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I couldn't pronounce it properly.
Yeah. Sorry, Peanuts. I've already got it.
Yeah, sorry, Peanuts. You're too slow.
That's okay. Too slow. Where are dolphins' nipples located?
Not something I've really looked into.
On their breasts.
Yeah, it's not something I lay awake at night thinking, I wonder where dolphins' nipples are.
Yeah, TT guy, what happened to letting the Peanuts have a go? Are you too slow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's one for you, Peanuts. We'll give plenty of time on this one.
Yeah, where's the dolphin's nipples? Come on, TT.
On the dolphin.
On the dolphin. Yeah. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? You're floating around somewhere nearby. No.
They're waiting for the
Didn't know
Peanuts to
they
catch
had
up.
any.
Same place as the
They're mammals.
peanuts.
The mammals, blue. Okay. Anus.
Anus.
In your anus. What? Very unpleasant for the poor bubbies. But anyway, yes.
Okay.
I only have one slot down there, and everything comes out of it and into it.
Thanks.
What island state was formerly known by the name of Formosa? Yeah, that's correct. Larry, that's the correct. TT guy, technically no, that would be the male, not the female. It's one way you tell the difference between males and females, by the way.
Well, you seem to know a lot about dolphins.
Well, I tend to know that male mammals have a penis and females don't.
Yeah, unusual that.
Okay. Yeah, funny that. Oh, dear me.
Okay, no one's got the Formosa?
Yeah, they're coming out with Taiwan a lot out there. And the Philippines.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the answer?
Okay. Oh, yes.
What was the answer?
Yeah.
Taiwan.
What?
Who?
I think it's Taiwan. Hang on a sec.
We didn't get the answer. Because it was off the screen, so we didn't see
Yeah.
the answer.
Yeah, we didn't get to see
Anyway,
it.
moving on.
Oh.
Okay, we still don't know the answer.
We want to
Okay.
verify it.
Who's this?
I just want to know who's this.
It's not Clive Wells. Or was it?
Gotta be
Oh,
Clive Wells.
Yeah, Clive Wells.
You think it's Clive Wells?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, study applied mathematics and computer science at Sheffield University. Then went to Liverpool to undertake PhD and mass transfer fluid and joined the Met Office in 1975. So very much into meteorology. He won quite a few awards. And it is...
Terry spent
Terry
18 months as an aviation. Terry.
Oh, what? Jeez, I was a bit young back in '69. I must have been a child prodigy.
No, right.
But that was in the Met Office. I didn't know I was over in England.
Dr. Terry Davies, no less.
I got around.
You did. Okay. Bobby Fischer is considered to be the greatest player of all, of which game? Should get this one.
Chess.
Chess.
Yeah.
Chess, yes. Okay, sorry, Peanuts, but that was a bit easy. In the game of Scrabble, how many points does the letter K have?
10.
No.
It's not 10. No, definitely not 10.
It's not a 10.
It's quite a lot less than that.
Not a 10.
I don't remember, but it's not 10.
TT guy thinks 6.
The correct question should be, which language set are you using?
Oh, come on. Don't split hairs now. Come on.
No, because I once ended up playing Scrabble in English on a French set. You get bugger all for a Q in French.
That's true.
Well, let's say the English. Okay, we've got a few guesses out there. Anyone going to lay a guess before I give the answer?
I'm gonna go with 3. I think I'm gonna agree with Nerd Alert.
Can I change my answer?
And if you do it before the
Four.
give the answer result. 4. Okay. Quick answer is 5.
Oh,
Yeah. And Clive got it right, of course.
Clive and Larry.
And Larry.
Yeah, they probably had a Scrabble set laying around next time.
In a website browser address bar, you should get this.
Oh, too easy.
Yeah, that one's too easy.
I'll let somebody answer.
Let's get into the bottom of this pool of questions.
I guess I need my reading glasses on to see this then, don't I, on my phone?
I'll read it out, Alan. In a website browser address bar, what does www stand for?
Oh, that would be the thing that Tim Berners-Lee invented, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would. And it would be
World Wide Web.
should I say? World Wide Web. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it stood for what, where, why.
Yeah. Could be.
I thought it was Wild Wet Women.
Yeah. Now we know what Blue uses for the internet. Yeah.
Okay. In what year were the first Air Jordan sneakers released? Sorry, Blue, what were you going to say?
I was going to say maybe that's why those crazy websites keep coming up when I. Yeah, never mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that explains it. Yes. Maybe you should just put www instead of. Okay. When were the first Air Jordan sneakers released?
I'm going to take a guess at 1995.
95.
I'm going to go earlier than that.
I'm going to go
87.
88.
I'll go 87.
No, okay. I'm probably going to be way out.
I'll have to go 86 then, won't I?
Yeah. I'm just seeing if we get any guesses out in the peanuts. I'll give them 5 more seconds. 2, 1.
We need a Jeopardy tune.
84.
Oh.
84. The year I left high school, 84.
I'm only 11 years
Peanuts
out.
didn't get a chance to guess. They were too slow.
No, they're just too slow. They had a chance. Okay. In the bingo game, which number is represented by the phrase 2 little ducks?
Oh, that's easy. I know what those. So let somebody else answer. because I did it for a very short time.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yeah, for a few weeks as a bingo caller. Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone going to give a guess?
Dave's got
Oh,
22.
Hot dogs.
Biggest
22,
dog
yeah.
says 666.
Yeah, no, it's 22.
22, yes. It is 22, which unfortunately I didn't clear off. That was a bit annoying.
Oh, the choose. Two little ducks, 22.
Okay. What building is this?
It's a pub.
It's a pub.
Yeah. Building was situated in Bickham, Herefordshire.
Herefordshire.
And you reckon our names are hard to pronounce.
Hartford in Herefordshire.
Hereford and Hampshire.
Hertfordshire.
The hurricanes hardly ever happen. Originated into a
That's
pub
not
with records.
Herefordshire, that's Hertfordshire. It's a completely different part of
Hertfordshire. Sorry, yeah, not Herefordshire. Sorry, beg your pardon.
Yeah,
Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire's sort of between Essex and Buckinghamshire, north of London.
Yeah.
Well, you know that they're about the same distance apart from where I am to each other.
Yeah, I know. For where you are, it makes bugger all difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's very important when you're actually trying to find the pub in Hertfordshire.
So they thought it was a post office, but they didn't know it was a brewery before that.
Okay, so what's the significance of this building?
It says it there.
No, think about it. This is one of my interludes. What are my other interludes have been about?
The significance of this building was not recorded. It received significant renovations in 2022. I have no idea.
The Farmer's
It's
Boy
probably
pub.
Pub.
Ah,
Oh.
Farmer's Boy pub.
Next time we talk to us, I didn't know you had a pub named after you.
Yeah. Yeah, Farmer's Boy. There's a few Farmer's Boy. This is
I know where the oldest pub. I know where the oldest pub in England is because I've been there. I drank in there.
Okay. According to Greek mythology, who was the first woman on Earth?
Greek mythology. Ooh, I know a little bit about that, but I don't know who the first woman on Earth.
Athena?
I don't think so. Could be though.
No, she wasn't a woman. She was a goddess.
Oh, she was a goddess.
She was one of the immortals.
Just give it a chance at the peanuts to give an answer.
Tick tock,
What do you
tick
think
tock,
about
tick
it?
tock, tick tock, tick tock.
There's a story about flip me.
Helen.
Pandora.
Oh yeah, a box.
Helen.
Pandora's box. Pandora. That's it. Pandora. It was Pandora, I think.
Well, Dave said
I'm gonna go
Helen.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, you're correct. It is Pandora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pandora's box. Champ.
Story about Pandora's box. Yeah.
Yeah. Helen of Troy is what they were thinking of Helen. And no,
Oh no, that's
that's actually history as opposed to mythology.
yeah. It's not mythology. It's history.
Yeah.
Recorded
There's a
history.
bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little bit of Okay, Samuel Tilden, Grover Cleveland, Al Gore, and Hillary Clinton share what distinction amongst U.S. presidential candidates? You around, Bev? No, I won't continue with that because I'll just get in trouble. I'll wait 5 seconds and start again.
What distinction?
around,
Well,
Blue?
they all lost.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I was going to say, let me guess. They all got a higher number of actual votes, but lost on the electoral college system.
Ah, yeah, could be. Could be.
That is
'cause-
correct.
Yeah, as I say,
They
'cause,
won
yeah,
the popular vote,
yeah.
but lost the electoral college vote.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Okay. Which African country was formerly known as Absidia?
No idea.
Easy one.
Yeah.
Ethiopia.
Good, Ethiopia. That is correct. Sorry,
Ooh, very good.
Okay. Tennis star Serena Williams won which major tournament while pregnant with her first child?
Well, that was Wimbledon, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was Wimbledon. I just remember reading something about it.
Well, we'll give the Peanuts a bit of a chance because no, it wasn't Wimbledon.
It wasn't Wimbledon. Oh, okay.
There's something open.
US Open, French Open.
US Open.
Or the French Open.
Given where the questions are coming from, probably the Australian.
Australian Open, yeah. I was just going to say that.
Yes, it is the Australian Open.
Yeah. I thought it was...
Okay.
Well, I was half right. I knew it was an open.
Oh, somebody just cutting off at the bottom of this. In which European city would you find Orly Airport?
Jeez. Paris.
Orly Airport.
Yeah,
We
Paris.
got a Paris. We got a Paris. We have a Paris. Paris. Yes, that is correct. Paris. Sorry, it's cutting off at the bottom. Okay.
Don't do that again either.
Here you go. Who's this?
Farmer's Boy.
Well, ain't me.
No. Well, we did Farmer's Boy already. Okay. This may give it away. This is a quote. Societies, by statistical necessity, needs to focus on the majority. It needs to be built and designed for the average society by moral necessity. Also needs to focus on the disadvantages of disabled, helping those that cannot help themselves. But while the majority of society's resources, attention, and infrastructure is depreciated to the average or below average intelligent people, little to none is paid of the abnormally intelligent. Okay? Is that... Anyone know who that is?
It sounds like something Paul would say.
Average Joe. I think Paul knows where that's heading. No. I don't think you get it right. It was Aaron Clowley, who's the author of Cursed of the High IQ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. What, far wrong then?
Yes. Okay. Alan Evans now. Sorry, Clive. Oh, I got another question Clive couldn't get right. Oh, must be doing well tonight. Okay. Which singer's real name is Stefani Jafan Agalina Germananetti? Her.
Oh, I don't know. I can't. It sounds familiar.
Gwen Stefani?
Nope.
Could be.
Although you would think
so.
it from the name, I've got a bit.
Yeah,
But
I think so.
No.
Angelina Jolie or something?
No, singer.
Not a singer.
Oh, it's a singer. Singer. Oh, yeah, she's an actress.
Oh, yes, they've got it out in the Peanuts already.
Oh, Lady Gaga. Okay.
Yeah, it is Lady Gaga.
Oh.
Okay. The only known monotremes in the animal kingdom are the echidna and which other creature?
Ooh.
Oh, that's one of yours as well, isn't it?
The platypus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the platypus. Only two monotremes. Kingston, Zuma, and Apollo are the sons of which American female pop star?
Typical celebrity names of their kids, isn't it? The weird names. Kingston's nice.
Her name, funny thing, her name has been mentioned tonight.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Angelina Jolie?
No.
Gwen Stefani?
Yes.
Hey!
Gwen Stefani. Okay.
Gwen Stefani.
Fishes, vents, and plugs are all. Oh, this is too easy. This one. I should have taken this one out. Okay, fisher vents and plugs are all associated with. Yeah. Volcanoes. Okay. Should take that one out. Okay. Oh, is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, it's not it. Okay. There was one other question which for some reason didn't appear on the bottom of it. Which author wrote the Winnie the Pooh books?
Where's your screen blank?
Because for some reason the question, it's having trouble. For some reason, it's dropping off the bottom, so you can't actually see the question.
Oh, what was the question again?
Which author wrote the Winnie the Pooh books?
Ah, I can't remember.
A.A. Milne.
Yeah, A.A. Milne. That is correct.
Well done, Alan.
There we go. And that finishes the quiz for tonight.
Ah.
There you go.
Thanks, Timbo.
I can't go on forever.
That's fun.
You want me to stop your share?
Where's mine? Yeah, you can do it. I just can't see the unshare button for the moment. It's around there somewhere. Oh, I see what's happening. For some reason they got bigger font.
That's okay.
Okay. We got any Anton? Or anything like that?
I was having a look at his latest, and he's only just got the.
He did one on. He did one about Mars. I got to watch a few minutes of it, but I never got to watching the rest of it. Yeah, fairly recent. Yeah, between
I don't know if I
now and Saturday, I think. Yeah.
I
watched literally a few minutes of it, but then I got disturbed and I had to go away do something else, and then I forgot about it. So it might be interesting.
You did first stage landing footage for the best Falcon 9.
Yeah, that's only just a short clip. That's all it is. It's not really much to discuss or anything like that.
It was only to do with biggest scientific discoveries about Milky Way galaxy. That's the last Anton I can see.
No,
it might have been before that one.
It was probably before that one, because he posts pretty regularly, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I've got to go up. I thought he only had the James Webb one I've seen.
Are you actually looking on his channel, or are you just looking through your?
Yeah, I should go to his channel, be quicker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, go to his channel. Be the
okay
easiest thing, wouldn't it? Instead of looking through with your whole list, because you get a lot posted on there, don't you?
Yeah. Are they live or videos?
No, it'd be videos. Don't think it does
huge
live,
updates from Mars. Important Mars updates, strange sounds, helicopter records, unusual minerals.
Yeah, that's the one.
3 days ago. There we go.
Yeah.
Put that one. Put that in the order. Well, that leaves us with 4 videos. Anton, Professor Blue Marble, Anton, and Simon. There we go.
That was Professor Blue now, is it?
Well, only professors can give you certificates, can't they?
That's true.
As long as we don't have to write a thesis or anything.
Oh, you haven't got your certificate then? I thought you said you had your certificate. I thought it'd already
Well, we've got to apply for this certificate.
You've got to pass an exam.
So I don't know what the credentials have got to be.
I think Blue gave his criteria.
Yeah, do we have to write a thesis or do a test or something?
No, not really.
Okay.
You got to be a Patreon, I think you said.
Yeah,
no, that's to get extra merchandise to be a patron, to get rings and special things.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, so I can qualify as a blue marble scientist then, can I?
Yeah, to get a certificate. Yeah.
Okay. What happens if I declare myself a flat earther? Don't answer that. Don't worry. Don't answer that. Because it's not going to happen.
Who is this knucklehead?
Commercial pilot, flat earther, question mark, from Everett.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't share it, but you'll be able to hear it.
Terry?
I think the reason that flat Earth...
Oh, it's all right.
What's that, man?
You've already done it. It's okay.
What?
It's okay. Don't worry.
What?
You've already done it.
What do you want me to do?
Press play. I thought that's what you waited for me to do.
is a bigger thing than it ever has been.
No.
What's the matter?
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
Is that people are starting to realize the more true something is, the more they try to hide it or act like it's ridiculous. Let that sink in for a little bit. If it's not true, why do they have to fight against it so hard?
You can't give up hope just because it's hopeless. You gotta hope even more and cover your ears and go blah, 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 blah.
So this guy right here, I said, "Get thee behind me, Satan," when he was saying some lies on the internet. I wasn't talking to him, I was talking to Satan, and Satan was talking through him. So me and Satan were talking through this guy.
The complacency of fools will destroy them. Proverbs.
Get out of my house. Exodus.
I always believed in the moon landing because I thought you could see the American flag on the moon.
Sweetheart, beauty fades, dumb is forever.
But apparently, Google says, yes, the flag is still on the moon, but you can't see it using a telescope.
Oh, but baby.
You guys know most anime is satanic, right?
Huh?
Like, have you ever watched anime so violent and sexual for no reason? I'm not bashing Japanese culture. I mean, sushi's really good.
Did you mean for all those words to come out together, or did they just fall out randomly?
There's no honest atheist. You're either fighting for God or you're fighting for the devil. You never see someone who's totally neutral. Usually if somebody says they're an atheist, they're just an atheist as an excuse to do bad things.
What?
What?
Bravo, Pugsley!
So I have a friend who recently became a pilot for a commercial airline, and he keeps telling me that the Earth is flat.
That's not opinion.
Yeah,
That's
right.
science. And science is one cold-hearted bitch with a 14-inch strap-on.
And when you're a pilot, you know these things. Telling me to look up things like airplane paths, like the actual route that they take.
Stop it!
That's a bit of a giveaway.
I'm sorry?
Probably a drone pilot, probably.
Stop it?
Yes. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T.
Instead of taking something that kind of makes sense, they'll take these paths that make no sense for a globe Earth, but for the flat Earth, they make perfect sense.
I don't have what it takes. I'd be better off with someone who'd never flown before.
You're still not risking sharing it to Zoom then, Terry?
Well,
is it?
It's risk. It's a risk.
Do it for your last video.
yeah, do it. Well, that'll be Simon. That'll be Simon's.
Yeah, we'll try it for that, and then if it crashes, then everybody will know that.
That'll be it.
No point in starting again. Then that'll be it.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
See if it works.
But I won't do it for Blue though.
No, stick mine last.
No, I want to see yours. I've already seen Dan's anyway. I prefer to see yours.
Yeah, but it's going to be it'll be impossible for you to follow it hearing it here in the stream and watching it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I don't usually do this, Blue, but just for you.
Yeah, just move me last.
Okay. Well, that means we can listen to Anton.
And today we're going to be discussing...
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. Matt?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to press play, Terry?
Okay, I'll do that.
Some of the recent updates from planet Mars, specifically from the NASA's Ingenuity, Perseverance, and to some extent NASA's InSight probe as well. Focusing on some of the recent achievements, some of the recent discoveries, and of course some of the more important updates. And here, I guess, let's start with this probe behind me, because it's going to be a pretty short story, and maybe a pretty sad one. NASA's InSight has officially ended its mission, with this right here being the last image that the mission is going to be able to take. Because of the amount of dust that accumulated on the solar panels, the InSight probe is unfortunately unable to collect any more energy, and is ending its mission somewhat prematurely. Although in this case, it did make some groundbreaking discoveries about Mars during its few years when it was still operational. And specifically one of its most recent major discoveries was the biggest Marsquake we've ever heard. This Marsquake was thousands of times more powerful than any other one detected previously, although compared to planet Earth it was still somewhat insignificant. The magnitude here was about 4.7, which means that compared to Earth it was somewhat weak. But for Mars, this is a significant discovery, because it once again confirms that there is something weird about Martian geology, and as you might have learned from one of the previous videos in the description, the recent discoveries do suggest that Mars is still quite active. As a matter of fact, it might actually resume its volcanic activity in the near future, something that nobody expected up until now. And so the InSight probe was responsible for making a lot of geological discoveries about Mars in the last few years, essentially changing our understanding of this unusual planet. You can learn more about this in one of the previous videos in the description. But nevertheless, this is most likely the end of the mission. It just cannot function anymore and has to be retired. But the other missions, Perseverance and Ingenuity, have been doing really well. As a matter of fact, despite all of the unusual problems both missions have experienced, they've been really persevering, as the name suggests. For example, the Perseverance probe has already collected 23 different samples from various regions, which is already more than half of all of the samples it's going to be collecting. And it's been slowly dropping these samples in various places near the region where it landed to essentially be picked up by the next step of the mission in the next 10 years or so. Now here the main reason for these samples is to actually collect as much evidence as possible for what might have happened on Mars billions of years ago, and potentially collect signs of maybe habitable conditions. Which is why so far the scientists have tried to focus on collecting a variety of different samples from a variety of different areas. But intriguingly enough, some of the preliminary analysis conducted by the instruments known as Sherlock and Pixel, that are able to conduct the analysis in the UV and the X-ray light, started to reveal something really unusual about the location where this particular mission has landed. Now you might remember that the original reason for this landing, the Jezero crater, was because it was always believed to be some kind of an ancient lake bed with potential rivers flowing into the lake itself. All of this was of course based on the topography and the overall shape of the area that kind of resembled what we see here on planet Earth. And so basically the visual evidence was definitely there. But the discoveries from this paper that you can find in the description, essentially based on the analysis of these samples, along with two other papers that are going to be published around the same time, kind of revealed almost the opposite. The preliminary analysis of various rocks in this area suggests that there is really very little evidence for the existence of ancient water. Or, if there was water, it was some kind of an ice mix, potentially with a lot of salty brine inside, and essentially was more of a slush than water itself. Which is of course a really intriguing first implication or first discovery, but I was really wondering why the scientists thought so. Well, the geological analysis here was pretty clear. First of all, the visual analysis clearly indicated that most of the weathering around the rocks happened because of the Martian wind and not because of the ancient water, with some effects from the radiation as well, and from things like various chemical reactions present in the Martian atmosphere. On top of this, and this is the more important part, they've discovered minerals rich in what's known as olivine. Now, on Earth, this is a mineral that we usually find really deep inside the planet, but it tends to get dissolved pretty quickly when there is liquid water present on the surface of the planet. Yet on Mars there is definitely a lot more olivine present in the minerals compared to anything we have here on planet Earth, with a lot of the signs indicating that it wasn't really affected by a lot of water that might have been here. There were some effects, but not a lot. And this means that if there was any exposure, it might have been really brief. Or maybe the water was very different from your typical liquid water. It was basically what we usually refer to as brine, extremely salty water that does kind of act like slush when it's really cold. Very highly saturated in salts, which is why it couldn't dissolve the olivine. They've also discovered some other elements here, such as sulfates and perchlorates, which could have been left behind by brines that used to exist here. With all this currently indicating that if there was any water here, it was probably not how we originally imagined it. If this was an actual lake, typical lake like on planet Earth, all of this would have been dissolved a long time ago. But if there was a lake that was frozen for most of its existence, containing a lot of briny water, could potentially explain these initial observations. Although these are still very initial observations in initial analysis, so we don't really know what we're going to find out in the next few years. As a matter of fact, it could just be the location where Perseverance has so far collected the samples. Maybe just following a path that's not particularly rich in ancient water. And on top of this, even though there were some initial signs of potential discovery of interesting organic molecules, including molecules similar to benzene, the presence of olivine in these regions suggests that there was probably no life present here either, because olivine would probably not really be in the same shape as we found it. In other words, olivine, because of chemical reactions or because of various bacteria, generally changes pretty quickly. In this case though, it didn't change. And so the presence of olivine in these regions at the moment sort of suggests that these regions were not really watery and not really filled with life either. But the mission also had some other really intriguing discoveries. In this case, an actual sound of what seems to be an extraterrestrial whirlwind, or essentially a miniature Martian tornado. And here it ended up passing right above the probe itself, in the process allowing the scientists to measure everything from the pressure to the sound itself. Basically, the microphone picked up the sounds. And well, here's what it sort of sounded like. Now, the good thing about this particular whirlwind, and the good thing for the future Martian missions, is the fact that the pressure and the sound itself was extremely weak. The pressure here was only about 1% of what you would experience on Earth. So that means that, all those scenes from The Martian where, the tornado or the storm sort of causes the rocket to fall down, that's very, very unlikely to happen. The force of these whirlwinds on Mars is extremely weak. But you will definitely hear the sound. But only for like a second or so. This was moving at 25 miles per hour and was actually gone really fast, with the pressure drop only detectable by an extremely sensitive instrument. A human being would not feel it. So that's Perseverance. But then we also had some major updates from the Ingenuity helicopter that basically still keeps going. As a matter of fact, as a joke, several scientists have already suggested that maybe this should be called Perseverance because it just won't stop flying. This helicopter first flew on April 19th of 2021 and has now officially conducted 38 flights. And even though in March of 2022, NASA officially announced that it might extend the mission to September of 2022, as of December of 2022, it still keeps going. It's been flying for over 600 days, and it's been essentially setting new flight records on a different planet. And remember, the original mission was only supposed to last for 30 days, maybe maximum 5 flights. But it just won't stop. As a matter of fact, this mission has been so successful that NASA has now decided to propose what's known as Mars Sample Recovery Helicopter that's essentially going to serve as the main way to collect the samples dropped by the Perseverance probe, with at least 2 tiny helicopters essentially collecting the samples and then returning them to the rocket that's going to come back to planet Earth. Although all of this will probably not occur for at least 10 more years. In other words, we don't expect the samples to return until 2033. Nevertheless, back in April of 2022, during the 25th flight, it was able to set new records for the highest speed and the highest distance traveled, flying for 708 meters at the maximum speed of 5.5 meters per second. But then, as you might remember from some of the previous videos, it also started to experience a bit of a problem with the drop in total pressure because of the seasonal change on Mars. During Martian summer, the decrease in air density required the helicopter to start spinning its blades much faster. But also around the same time, on May 3rd of 2022, the communication with the helicopter unexpectedly failed. This was right after the 28th flight. And the engineers behind this mission now believe that it was very likely because of these changes in pressure, but also because of the changes in the atmospheric dust that probably reduced the amount of energy the solar panels were generating, and when the battery reached a certain limit, the onboard computer reset the mission clock, which unfortunately lost the synchronization with the Perseverance rover. And this in effect caused the problems with the rover communication, but it was resolved pretty quickly. By turning off internal heaters and allowing some of the energy to be preserved inside, the communication was restored and the helicopter could fly again. Although in this case there was always a fear that every single day could be the Ingenuity's last. The deficits in power persisted up until October, and so it was actually uncertain if the mission could maybe fail. But something else happened in June. Another part of the helicopter failed for unknown reasons. A part known as inclinometer. This is the part that's responsible for the orientation measurements at the start of each flight. But since we're talking about NASA engineers here, they basically found a workaround using a different unit known as IMU, Inertial Measurement Unit, that was able to do pretty much the same. And so here, Flight 29 was actually the most nerve-wracking. It was the first flight without inclinometer and also in cold weather. But it definitely worked. And then, for approximately 2 months, the helicopter did nothing. It was basically just waiting for the weather to get better. With Flight 30 meant to test if the helicopter can still fly accurately after 2 months of inactivity. And it definitely did. Then, during Flight 33, there was an unusual fabric stuck to the helicopter that at first was believed to be part of the helicopter itself. But eventually the team realized that it was actually something from the parachute responsible for landing the entire mission, and this actually fell off pretty quickly. Then, Flight 34, even though it didn't look exciting, was exciting for a different reason. It involved a major update to the entire software, allowing the helicopter to now avoid various hazards, and also, most importantly, use actual digital elevation maps to help it navigate by itself, without the use of any manual commands. Or basically it gave the helicopter a lot more autonomy and allowed it to take off, land and fly much more safely. But also it provided a lot of new places where the helicopter could now land, even in more dangerous rocky areas. Then during Flight 35, it was able to reach a new height of 14 meters or 46 feet. This is the record so far. And for the next few flights, including the Flight 38, it essentially acted as a scout for the Perseverance rover. In essence, flying ahead of the rover, exploring the areas for potential sampling, but also relaying a lot of the mapping data as the helicopter explores and observes various areas. But I guess more importantly, it's been able to do so way beyond what was expected. For 38 flights, it's functioned for over a year and a half, and it seems to be still doing okay. And that's really the incredible part. Nobody has ever expected this thing to even fly, but it seems to be not just flying, but doing so much more than we ever hoped for. Which means that even next year I'm probably still going to be talking about this mission and the helicopter itself, potentially exploring some other new findings and new discoveries or new achievements from the entire Mars 2020 mission. But until future discoveries, well, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, check out some of the previous videos and more explorations of Mars and Mars discoveries in the videos in the description as well. Subscribe, maybe share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, come back tomorrow to learn something else, and maybe support this channel on Patreon by joining channel membership or by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt that actually also contains the Ingenuity helicopter in one of the designs. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, those poor solar panels with all the dust on it.
Yeah, it did pretty well. I mean, it was what lasted for 4 years. Only supposed to last about 2 years, so it did pretty well considering.
Did they ever try to fold up the solar panels while it had some charge in it to see if the dust would fall off?
No, I don't think that would have worked. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure that would have worked.
Yeah.
But I think going forward, I think NASA probably not going to be using solar panels very much anymore. They're going to be using those radioisotope power banks that the one that Perseverance has got at the moment.
They don't rely on solar panels. Yeah.
No, it's become too too problematic. I mean, they look at Spirit and Opportunity. I mean, how long they lasted, and Opportunity had they both had solar panels, and Opportunity lasted what, 15 years? But it was lucky because both Spirit and Opportunity had dust devils come along and blow the dust off the solar panels. So it was only luck, really, that they lasted as long as they did. But phenomenal, though, 15 years. And they were only supposed to last, I don't know, a few months, 90 days or something. Yeah, Spirit lasted something like 6.5 years, and Opportunity went on for 15 years. Yeah, really good. And I was reading about that actually, and the difference it makes is that apparently the darker areas of Mars apparently are not so dusty, not that fine dust that you get. And they get these kind of like these dust devils whizzing around a bit. Apparently, in the sort of light areas is where they get like a lot more of the deeper dust they found. So it tends to be probes and things like that seem to collect dust a lot quicker in those areas. And there's also less dust devils apparently. So there you go.
So not till, what he said, not till 2030, 33 or something. They're going to pick up those.
Yeah,
samples.
the sample return mission. Yeah, should be interesting. I mean, they changed the plan a little bit because the original plan was that Perseverance would put the samples into a basically what would happen there was going to be a lander, a probe, if you like, would land nearby Perseverance. Perseverance then was to put the tubes into this lander with a rocket in it, but now they're looking at using helicopters to pick up the samples, hence why Perseverance has dropped them and obviously marked the position. So now they're going to use, by the sounds of things, they're going to use the little helicopters to pick them up, take them to a probe, which would be loaded into like a tube into a little mini rocket, which will then be intercepted probably by Mars, another orbiter around Mars, and then that will go then onto Earth somehow. So
yeah, if the little helicopters are doing their job, they're going well.
Yeah, it's worked well. Yeah, there was some debate whether it really would work on Mars or not, but it certainly has. Anyway, next video.
Yeah. What's Simon doing with his cat?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Press play, Terry.
Astronomy is a sound science. We have proven countless aspects of it with solid investigations, experiments and observations. We've known all about the stars and planets for hundreds of years, going back to the worlds of Tycho Brahe, Galileo, Isaac Newton and Copernicus. Yet there appears to be one YouTuber who wants to rewrite the textbook when it comes to astronomy. So today we're going to have a look at his Astronomy 101 video to see if he's right. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon and Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. So the YouTuber in question for today's video is someone by the name of Talking to Leeds Kalnin. And they seem to be very excited that I'm going to try and debunk their video. Now I was going to do this video last Tuesday, but opted for the evolution one from Kyle instead. Talking to Leeds Kalnin was not impressed. Here is his community post shortly after I released last Tuesday's video. Simon Dan, Star Talk, Professor Dave Explains, Dr. Becky, NASA, Powerful JRE. Your boy said he was going to take me on and then back down. What happened? I told you they would run from the facts. He wanted to make a video, but he can't. He doesn't have any answers, so how could he? The data is correct, and since it can't be argued with, it must be ignored. That's a crying shame, and a perfect example of the problem with science today. Literally, the smartest thing Simon Dan has ever done is decide not to engage me in debate about how the Earth goes around the sun. The only move he had was no move at all. Good move, Dan, good move. I will say it again, I wield the sword of Leeds Kalnin and cannot be defeated. Who is next? Well, let's see what this is all about, shall we?
The red door. So, what he shows, and I'll throw up the graphic here as I'm talking so you can look at it. It has an unusual drawing on it, and it has what looks like the sun, and then it says Earth 21, and then it has what looks like the Earth here and the Earth here, showing the apex and the apogee of our orbit, which seems to contradict what we know about science. Now, astronomers believe it to be this way.
They don't believe it to be like that. We know it to be like that. All the planets of the solar system are within a few degrees of the ecliptic plane. Pluto, though, is about 17 degrees off. We know all this because of the various probes, satellites and telescopes that we have out there in the solar system.
But this is how we go. But Ed shows something completely different, doesn't he? And he invites us to use the Polaris telescope and the sundial. And what he's doing is, with the drawing on the red door, is he's saying, hey guys, this is my math. Feel free to use the instruments that I built to check my math. That's pretty cool, right?
It is cool, yes. And the fact that he's even been able to build all this is a testament to his engineering skills. However, Earth's orbit does not look like the one that you've just drawn on that board there. Now, the ecliptic, of course, is an imaginary line in the sky in which the sun and planets travel along. It is defined by our orbit around the sun and our axial tilt of 23.5 degrees. For example, here in the UK, the ecliptic is lower in the sky during the winter and higher in the sky during the summer because of that tilt.
So that's exactly what we're going to do. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to ascertain what this drawing is telling us, don't we? We have to say, what is it about this that's different than the current model? And it shows it on an angle. And it also shows that there is a difference in the length of orbits. This is Earth 21, and since closer I would say what he is saying there is that it's 621, and that this is 1221. This is summer solstice, winter solstice.
Well, there is a difference in the distance to the sun during those two times of year. You've got them the wrong way round though. We're actually close to the sun during the winter solstice. And you're giving us an Astronomy 101 lesson. Amazing.
But there's another additional thing on there that people don't seem to talk about or acknowledge. Maybe they don't even really see it. But there's one in the middle, and this is the equinox. Right? This is the equinox here. And this equinox, since it's equal, is on both sides.
And this is where the diagram does make sense. The equinox occurs when the ecliptic crosses the celestial equator. Now, it's my postulation that Ed Leeds-Kalnin has confused the ecliptic as being our actual path around the sun with a 23.5 degree tilt in our orbit. And if you notice, he is still claiming from his diagram that there's a 23.5 degree tilt in Earth's axis in this new orbit he's claiming. Now, that would cause havoc with the days and nights and nothing that we actually experience.
So, notice that it is dead center of the sun during the equinox, but at each of these extreme periods during the year, they're at an angle.
Indeed, and for that to work in regards to the seasons, etc., there would need to be no tilt. And I get that this would look the same from our perspective if there was no tilt. But what wouldn't look the same are the planets in the sky. They would not follow the ecliptic as they do now, but of course this is irrelevant because Leeds-Kalnin is still saying there's a 23.5 degree axial tilt.
Right. So, we see that there is a difference in the length of orbit between winter and summer. We see that the equinox lines up in the dead center of the sun, and that he has this mapped out for us on the red door. And it completely contravenes what is being said by mainstream astronomy, mainstream science, and the standard model from which we are all taught from, including myself. So to sum up, the red door shows us that his drawing has a difference in orbital length between summer and winter.
Nothing new there. We know that there is.
It also shows that he shows a difference in the orbital angle, or the tilt, in relation to the sun.
And this is the thing which he has totally wrong.
So, these two things are what we are going to focus on, and it is because he names these two things with the drawing on the red door. He's telling us to our face, he shows a difference in orbital length and a difference in the orbital angle. Now, he has put in place something to prove each one of them. He doesn't expect you to believe him. He says, I built these and they defooled me. And they defooled me, and now I'm going to defool you.
Well, forget about the cutting edge technology that we've actually got out there. Let's figure it out using some rocks. Which, don't get me wrong, back then is a great achievement, but still.
All right, that's what we're here to do. And the first one that shows the orbital length is called the Polaris telescope. And that's what we're going to talk about next. All right, so we have the Polaris telescope. And basically, the Polaris telescope is a 40-foot tall obelisk that was built by Ed. That's made of coral. And it has these crosshairs that are placed in it in wire.
Now, here is a picture of it if anyone wants to see the real thing. As you can see, the wire is very straight.
And the reason it's called the Polaris telescope is because any clear night of the year, you can look through this, the crosshairs that he has made, and you can see Polaris in one of the 4 quadrants. All right? And with this, we know we can mark the seasons. He has them marked off in quarters, and he hasn't even just got Polaris accurately within the crosshairs, but what he's done more exactly is he's marked the position of true north, because Polaris is a circumpolar star. Now, it is our closest pole star to exact north, but it's off by about 2 degrees.
Now, I looked at this for a long time and even consulted conspiracy cats on it as well. And I think between the two of us, we've come up with a conclusion. If indeed the wires are centered dead on true north, then Polaris would circumnavigate that central point over 24 hours. It would not be in 1 quadrant per season. Even if it was slightly off true north, it still wouldn't be in 1 quadrant per season. Now, without going there myself, I can't 100% verify this, but I suspect that is what's going on.
And this is exactly what Ed shows. He shows this 2-degree deviation, and it's only because he has been so accurate as to mark true north.
It's 0.7 degrees, not 2 degrees. Dear, oh dear.
Which is a feat unto itself. But any clear night of the year, you can see Polaris, and if you track its movements, what you see is something very interesting, because if our pole is pointed at north, true north, okay, and so true north would be the sun, the central point.
I don't think it would be, no.
That we revolve. And the reason that this moves from quadrant to quadrant isn't because the star moves, it's because we move, right? I mean, everybody agrees on that. Even mainstream science says, yes, it's because we move, right?
Yes, the stars move because of our rotation. And as I stated earlier, Polaris would circumnavigate that central point over the course of 24 hours.
So, if the star moves because we move, by tracking the star against a central point, it now becomes analogous with our own orbit, doesn't it? Now, this isn't hard to understand. So what Ed has done is he has tracked the star very closely and has given us our view.
He must have tracked it over 24 hours then, because that is the path that Polaris would take over the course of a day.
Of our orbit in micro. Right? If you track this every single night and you track the position of the star, what you get is a kind of an egg-shaped elliptical orbit.
You don't actually. You get a nice, neat circle, just like this.
This would be the topographical view. If we were looking at our movement, looking down on the Earth as it moves around the sun, this is exactly what we would see, because he has perfectly captured it.
No, what that captures, as I've just said, is the rotation of the Earth, not the Earth's orbit around the sun. Now, this is the ramblings of someone who doesn't have the first clue about astronomy, and he wants to stand there, he's got the gall to give us an Astronomy 101 lesson? Now look, there's over 35 minutes more of this lecture, and if you want me to take another look at the next section, let me know in the comments and I will do that. Now of course, I'm sure this guy is going to respond and tell me I'm talking nonsense, but for now, I think we've proven him wrong enough. We are all done and dusted for another Tinfoil Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it today, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers who've joined recently. There's been a few of you. And of course, if you really enjoyed it, hit that like button as well. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all on Friday for the return of Mikey Smith and another one of his brilliant experiments. See you then.
Oh. Flat Earth experiment. Going in.
You haven't crashed, Terry.
Well, I haven't shared it with you guys yet. It was only when I was sharing it.
So you like that, Matt?
Yeah, very good. I've got my certificate now.
Was Blue Handed certificates out?
No.
Well, I've got one. I got one. Didn't you get one?
Timbo's handing them out.
Well, they have to be authorised.
Oh, it's authorised.
I haven't.
Look at the top of the certificate. It says it's authorised by.
Yeah.
The different. Yeah.
I'll mock it up a little bit better. Just very quickly.
What's the name of the university? Does it come from any particular university?
I'll think of something. Matt, I gave Matt a very particular name.
Oh, like Blue said, we'll share his experiment. It goes for 6 minutes, so that's not too bad. We'll see.
Give it a go. See what happens. Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Terry.
Yes, Matt.
Press play. Fingers crossed. Oh, no sound though.
No sound yet.
But you're not getting any sound.
It'll be there.
You go.
Dude, I'm sharing it in here. You should be getting sound in here.
Yeah, sometimes you don't get the music. Keep going, Terry.
Keep going, Terry.
Well, hello, everybody. Have you ever heard of spherical pie? And do you know what the difference is between pie and spherical pie? If you don't, you might find this interesting. Now, we all know what a circle is, but the ones we usually think of are 2D Euclidean circles like the one I've drawn here. We know that for any circle, the ratio of the circumference of the circle to its diameter is that constant we call pi. Has a value of 3.14159, goes on forever. But it's based on the radius and the circumference. So pi is the circumference divided by 2 times the radius, or circumference divided by diameter. Same thing. But now what happens if we have a sphere like this? And what happens if we draw a circle on that sphere like that? The radius of that circle is no longer a straight line. It's a curved line because it's across the surface of that sphere.
Yes,
so
you can't use a
clearly
constant.
that radius can't be the same as the radius for a Euclidean circle. But how can we figure out what it should be? Well, let's give it a try. We've got a given sphere here with a radius we call r and a circumference I called c sub gc for great circle, that being the largest circle you could possibly draw on a sphere. And we want to find the circumference of another circle. We'll call that one c sub alpha, and we need its diameter as well. So let's let this angle here be angle alpha between the vertical line and the radius line that's drawn. That's the angle that we're looking at. And the Euclidean radius of that circle is therefore r times sine alpha. That's just simple trigonometry. So the circumference of that circle is going to be 2 times that radius times pi. In other words, 2 pi r sine alpha. But the spherical radius of that circle is going to be r times alpha. So the spherical diameter is 2r times alpha. We'll call that d sub s. So spherical pi, we can call it pi prime, is the spherical radius divided by the spherical diameter. In other words, c sub alpha divided by d sub s. And spherical pi is 2 pi r sine alpha divided by 2r alpha. Let's get rid of the 2's and the r's. And spherical pi is equal to pi sine alpha divided by alpha. That's all there is to it. Well, let's find out what the limits of that would be. And first, let's take a look at what happens when our angle alpha tends toward pi over 2. In other words, right there. Well, the limit as alpha approaches pi over 2 is pi sine alpha divided by alpha, and that's the limit of pi sine of pi over 2 divided by pi over 2. Well, sine of pi over 2 is 1, so it's pi divided by 2. In other words, the limit is just 2. So if we draw the biggest circle we can on the surface of a sphere, that's a great circle. Spherical pi for that circle has a value of 2.0. But now what happens if we draw the smallest circle we possibly can? What happens when alpha tends to 0? Well, in that case, the limit as alpha tends to 0 of pi sine alpha divided by alpha, which in this case is the limit of pi sine 0 divided by 0. Well, the sine of 0 is 0. So now we have 0 divided by 0, and that's indeterminate. But we have a way of getting rid of that. We can use L'Hopital's rule, and we can take the derivative of the top and the bottom of that. So the derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of alpha is just 1. So spherical pi for this condition is pi times cosine 0, which is 1, divided by 1, or simply pi. So now we've defined the boundaries of it. Spherical pi lies between a value of 2.0 and pi. You know, I wonder if anybody else knows about this. Here's a screenshot from Google Earth. I've drawn a circle that's a little over 1,800 miles in radius. That's pi over 6 in terms of radians. So spherical pi would be pi times the sine of pi over 6 divided by pi over 6. Spherical pi would have a value of 3.0 for this circle. In Google Earth, we've got a radius of 1802.7 and a circumference of 10,782.21. If we divide that circumference by twice that radius, you get spherical pi of 3.0. So that's the story, and that's why spherical pi cannot be a constant. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget the like and subscribe buttons down there. There's a link to the Patreon and PayPal. If you want to support the channel, I would really appreciate it. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next one.
I think we made it all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill it for it.
Quick, stop sharing.
There you go.
I think I told most of you about this, but I heard SC Montreal and somebody else in I can't remember one of the Discords anyway, and he's saying that Blue Marble had lost the plot because he said that Blue had claimed that pi was not a constant, which is not true. It's not what he said at all. And what he was talking about was, spherical pi. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you get into non-Euclidean geometry and things change.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything wrong with my math.
No. Not that I can see anyway. Not that I'd really know, but...
Is it a simple way for me to understand it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but pi, this one type of pi is just like on a flat piece of paper drawing a circle, and you get the radius, and then you get pi to get the diameter.
Yeah, two-dimensional.
Right, and then the other one is on a 3D object. The other one.
Yeah, right. Well, now the center point of the circle is no longer in the same plane as the circle. And as the circle gets bigger, the center point moves further and further away from the plane.
Yeah, so it can't be a constant. You can't use a constant to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just can't.
What about elliptical pi?
Ooh.
Or hyperbolic pi? That'd really mess with Bev's brain, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it would.
It mess with my brain too, to be honest. But
yeah, but my favourite still has to be apple and blackberry pie.
Oh.
What, in the same pie?
Yes.
Apple and blackberry?
My mum
1, 2, 3,
makes
1, 2, 3.
beautiful apple and blackberry pies.
Yeah, that's right. Apple and blackberry. Yeah, it's quite a common pie here in the UK. It's nice.
Because you can forage blackberries out of, from hedgerows, and
yeah,
you always find a few apples laying around here and there.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of hedgerows over here.
No, not a whole lot, do you? No. No, they grow wild here all over the UK. You know, it's yeah, we can hear you, Timbo. Was it September, October, isn't it, Alan? Blackberries usually when they start to fruit.
No, God.
Am I getting it wrong? Completely wrong.
July to the end of September, you can find blackberries.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yeah. I probably think there's something else.
Yeah, they have quite a long season, and
yeah.
And once you've got a blackberry vine, it's almost impossible to get rid of the damn thing.
Yeah.
I could imagine importing one to Australia, and it would go absolutely mental.
Yeah, it would.
How often do you have to charge your blackberry?
Oh.
Yeah, well, and Clive makes a good point. I was going to say that, and I just read what he wrote. I agree with you, Clive. I don't see a whole lot of practical use for spherical pie, but I found it interesting that the people like Bev and S.E. Montreal and guys like that want to say that it can't exist when it very well can and does exist. They just don't understand the geometry at all.
Yeah.
Well, how would you, for instance, calculate a volume of a spherical object? How would you calculate that? You would need to use that method anyway, wouldn't you, to do that?
Well, there's
maybe
other ways.
Better ways.
But personally, I think it's a bit pointless thinking about it like that. You just need to know pi, plus you need to know the relevant angles on the surface that you're working on, so that you can work out the circumference or the area.
Yep.
I just see it as a way of using the radius of the sphere to determine the size of the circle. It's pretty much rather than having to work out the radius of the circle. But yeah.
Did you guys say you couldn't hear Blue's opening theme when we were playing his video before?
Yeah, just the music. You get that sometimes. We've noticed on the thing here. You don't hear the music, but you always hear the talking. You just kind of hear a slight tinkle of it, sort of thing. Yeah, Blue's right. Yeah. It's always been. It's always been the case, really, in Zoom.
I thought you used.
It's always been the case on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
That's not new. It always does that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I personally think you're probably better off with Meets. Personally, I think Meets works better.
Well, I'm still paying for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But while I'm still paying for it, well,
might as well carry on with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't crash anyway.
Well, touch wood.
Yeah. Well, you haven't. It's the end of the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, made it through to the end. Quick, say the goodbyes quick before it does.
Already did. I wrote out there in case the stream crashes later, everyone. Okay, we're out of here then. Before we do crash.
Yeah, Matt, I'll have to do you another certificate.
Why did you make a spelling mistake?
Yeah.
Know, did you? I didn't even know.
I wrote it. It's all right. I'll do a proper one.
Well, thanks, Arno Penzius, I think he's pronounced.
Yeah.
Thanks, Space Matt. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Professor
welcome.
Blue. Thanks, Timbo. Who do we have out there? Anamorphic, Tiny Captain, Biggest Doggers, Clive, Judy, Nerd Alert, TT Guy, Jinxu, Dave Cannabis, Joe Whip, Larry D. March, Dave, Zebulon, who else was out there? Brainery, Fred, Elmigs, Carl's there earlier till he had a blackout, till he got his blackout. Matthew James. Have I missed anyone? I don't know if Judy was out there. I've seen. I didn't see Dora tonight. I don't think. Okay. Tiny Captain. Yeah. Thanks all. All right, guys. We'll get out of here before anything happens.
11.
Yeah. Night panel. Night peanuts.
Night peanuts.
Night, everyone.
Night.